Broadway. That's Dick's behind us. You got a very small police line right here who are blocking Broadway. So basically what we see here, and I don't know if this is how people wanted it, but this is what it is we've got the protesters on one side, a lot of them down on one or two knees, and you've got a line of officers right here. Now, I don't know if this is where the Seattle police is planning on making a hard stand with the protesters. It is now past 5 o'clock Pacific time here in Seattle, and there's a curfew that's in place at 5 o'clock. So what we got right here is SPD to the north of the street. It's a very small number. But it looks like they're ready to move people out. So basically, this is the move back. Oh, snap. We got the crowd moving forward. We got the crowd moving forward here. We've got the crowd moving forward and the police moving forward. We got the crowd moving forward and the police moving forward. When the police started moving forward, the crowd moved forward here. So it's a very small number of officers here at the moment, considering the crowd that's here and keeps coming. I'm not sure why SPD decided to move forward. I'm not judging their movement. And now here we go. Another close call, looks like, which is a good thing. The protesters are back on the move. Protesters are back on the move on Capitol Hill. I don't know where this one's going to end up, y'all. Not to be overly dramatic here on the live, but a tense moment there for a moment when the police went for their move back posture. Oh, shit. Hey, man. You know, walking around with some shit like that, man. Huh? Oh. Shit. I don't know what's more dangerous, but we saw there for a moment the SPD move forward and the crowd move forward towards the SPD. And then what happened, it looks like some of the organizers here said that it was a stall tactic by SPD, and now they've redirected these marchers. So if you're familiar with Capitol Hill area of Seattle, like we just passed Broadway and John, where a lot of people know Dick's. We're on John now, passing 10th Avenue. Still not sure where the other factions of, or other segments of the protesters are. This is actually a very large crowd right here. Several hundred people, but all together downtown. I mean, we saw just under maybe 1,000 people downtown, and they got split into different groups. So, we don't put so you might be able to hear here. There's been a lot of chants. Right now they're chanting, what's his name, George Floyd. Previously, no justice, no peace. So this protest now approaching 12th and John looks like it's turning left, which would be north on John. So, north on John, I'm gonna have to look at my Apple Watch to see how many miles I've logged now. Oh, this is the third day of covering these protests. Whew. We putting in some steps though. I'm telling you, I've been on this since Friday, man. It's a lot of steps in. I consider myself a fat boy before these protests. Well, I'm slimming down now. So, looks like actually straight up, we see a police presence right there. Looks like straight up, John, that's Kaiser Permanente, the building that's there in the background. Old school Seattle people know it as Group Health. So, right now, heading east on John towards Group Health. So, something else to think about is it's still 3 hours. Well, it's 8 minutes past the curfew. And really, to be honest with you, I don't really see the SPD trying to enforce the curfew on this crowd right here. I don't know how even wise that would be, to be honest with you. Thus far, as far as I've been following this protest, there hasn't been any violence, any vandalism, or anything like that. And this march has so far gone unimpeded. There's been a few streets that SPD's closed, and the protesters have diverted. So, like I said, that's Group Health or Kaiser Permanente, about 1 block away. The best part about reaching 15th is if they go straight, everything else is downhill. So there's the last uphill, y'all. Shit. So y'all go wherever you want from here. Everything else is downhill. Woo. So, see what it's looking like behind us. What's up, bro? You've been over here as long as I've been over here. Huh? What brought you out here?
Huh?
What brought you out here?
I'm here to protest, man.
Yeah?
So much solidarity with the black brothers, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In peace to the assailants, I don't want to step home. Yeah. George Floyd! George Floyd!
Woo! We reached flat ground. So, just to look behind us here. It looks like the pace of the protest is picked up there. There's some people running up front. I'll be honest with you guys, I ain't in a position to run behind them. But the front part of the protesters here ran into the intersection on 15th. Whew. So a lot of people know, like I said, we're up here at Capitol Hill. That's the Safeway. That's Group Health, Kaiser Permanente. We're on 15th and John. Now, I will tell you that there's definitely some professional organizing. To what extent for this protest, hard to tell. There's quite a few people who just saw these guys walking and just jumped into the protest. So there's also some people, you know, I've been out here long enough now to be able to recognize the professionals, or, you know, the people who came here for it. So, you know, there's some of that crowd as well. There's a lot of people I've been talking to, some of you guys have heard on previous streams, who are just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And this is a way they found to be able to make their voices heard. And clearly it's a method that works, because even I'm out here covering it. But just to be clear and accurate, at least to the best of my ability, you have really across you have man, it's a better argument going on behind us here. What's that? You're here for all people, huh? All beings. Right. So, do you think when people say Black Lives Matter that other lives don't matter?
No. I mean, they've had enough, and they're speaking their mind.
Right.
That's their truth. And I agree with that.
And what you're saying is all lives matter in a sense. Yeah, of course they should. I think all lives matter for most people too. Right. Okay.
No, that's your perception. No, it's people claim it. You can do whatever you want.
So, right. So I think though that if your position is though, and that's your position, that today, since all lives do matter, today you might want to highlight one. There you go. But it's all love, man. You know, I'm the global citizen. The whole earth is my turf, man.
No justice, no peace, no racist police.
All right. So back here on Broadway, on Capitol Hill now, this is 15th. Heading north on 15th. If you're familiar with this part of Capitol Hill, this street actually ends at, I think, Volunteer Park.
No peace, no racist police. No justice, no peace, no racist police.
So, like I said, and it was real interesting right here, just that conversation. There's a wide variety of people with different views and causes, but you know, the catalyst clearly was the murder of George Floyd. And I think that, like, to be honestly, man, just as a member of the media, you know, I put my media hat on and try to be as objective as possible. But man, as a black man, last week was just fucked up. You know, you had this thing there in Central Park, the bird watcher, the woman calls the police, you got the Floyd murder. I mean, so it's crazy. So, but just to give perspective to everybody, the last 3 days, I've been out here with my journalist hat on, as I do today, you know, and want to be able to actually show people unfiltered what's going on out here, and different people, varying people's opinions and things like that. Also, I heard somebody ask, so my son's not with me today. Today, the police, the National Guard, everybody, it's going to be a higher level of force if something does happen. So we gave Little O the day off. So for everybody who's asking about Little O, he's not out here with me today, but he did a great job the last few days kind of holding it down. So this is Capitol Hill. This is the 15th and Republican. I caught up with this protest, believe it or not, downtown on 4th and Union. And it's very much fast moving, by the way. these guys have been moving quickly throughout the city. I see out in front, up there, we can see police lights. So I don't know if now the police are out in front and they're dictating the route or not. But I'm in about the middle of the crowd. You see the front up there. And you see the back there. So this is definitely a sizable protest that's here. And this isn't the only protest that's occurring. Like I said, it was even bigger downtown, and people went a few different ways. Hey, Susan. Happy birthday again to you. We got Susan Freed on the stream for you. You guys that might know, she's like one of the best photographers, not only in Seattle, probably not region. I mean, I would say nationally, you know what I'm saying? And Susan has been pretty dope at capturing images of our community her whole career. So I'm glad you're taking the day off, Susan. All right. Ooh, shit. We got some acts of violence over here. We got some, so this is the guy who just said, all humanity matters. This guy just said all humanity matters. Now he got bitch slapped. So it's wild up here. No, he was like, it's not even Black Lives Matter, all humanity matters. And now this guy, now he's like, yeah, you got bitch slapped. I'm like, where you whatever, all humanity matters. So we got a few helicopters here in the air. The thing is, also, is this protest has been so fast moving. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm a few pounds overweight at the moment. These guys are moving like quickly, which very well might be part of the strategy. Looks like we're heading back west. So here on 15th and Roy, looks like we're gonna head back west. And for people not familiar with Seattle, basically we're heading back towards downtown. West will take us back into the city center. I don't know how far or how long we're gonna stay west, but we're not here to loot or to fight. Stop killing non-whites. So you see a lot of signs like that out here. And so now the protest has gone residential. So it's 15th and Roy. And again, to give people who are watching this stream an indication of the size here. This is a fairly big protest. There's hundreds of people in this particular protest. And like I said, when I caught up with everybody down on 4th and Union, when they were in the flashbangs and the tear gas, the crowd was even bigger. And I think what's happened is they broke it into a few different groups. And so this is the group that I decided to follow and kind of report on. But this isn't the only protest that's occurring right here in Seattle. Well, I tell you, this is fast moving though. It's fast. Clearly at this point, part of the tactic is to keep a high rate of speed here in this protest, in this march. Also, something else that they tried to do previously, and actually they caught up with one other group of protesters, but they're still trying to rendezvous with another group of protesters. And it very well could be that part of their actions here, as far as at least the route they're taking and everything else, very well could be to try to connect with the other group of protesters. That was supposed to happen on Broadway, but it didn't quite happen there. 14th and Roy. So we're now heading southbound on 14th. So pretty quiet up here as far as the people who live in the neighborhood. There was somebody who came out their house right there, I think, to see what's going on. They went back inside. For me, on a side note, I'm just glad that if they are going back downtown, it's downhill. Because, hey, look, if a big guy like me, I know you feel my pain, right? These Seattle hills, you know, that's what I guess you're a dedicated protester. If you protest on these hills in Seattle, man, you know, and I would very much say that's the case. This is my third day of covering the protest here, and even the first day, it was a lot because it went up and down Jackson and up and down Jackson and into downtown and everything else. There it is. We're heading back downtown. So we're on Mercer Street here, still on Capitol Hill. This is 14th and Mercer, heading westbound. Looks like someone's back there barricading the street. Well, I'm gonna put the phone up here so you guys can see the size of the crowd in front of us. So, and it looks like guys are stopping right up here. So they're stopping at an apartment building. Don't know if they came to pick up the big homie. Keep it pushing. I wish somebody would stop and get some water. But all right, we've reached the Glen Eagles. This isn't the place that I expected us to be stopping. Here's the crowd right there, though. They keep coming. They keep coming. Looks like we're gonna go northbound now on 13th. But we've got part of our group going downhill. No! So there you go. There's a shot right there.
Come on, bro. Bro, we're going back down the hill. We're going back down the hill. We're going to the 7. We nitty gritty right now. Back down the hill.
So it looked like some of the leadership here on this protest might have had a difference of opinions about their routing, and they've come down the hill, and again they meet the SPD. So this is 12th and Mercer. If you're watching, if you're familiar, this is Capitol Hill, and we're on 12th and Mercer. The police have got a barricade here, but it looks like the protest is actually going to continue moving. We're on right. Looks like the protest is moving, continuing west.
Everybody listen to me. Let's go down the hill right now. Yes.
The organizer is now pushing people further down Mercer Street. So now, So I'd say the last few days, right, based on the tactics around this, is the first 2 days, the first 2 days, and I don't want to call all the protesters anarchists or vandals. Let's stick with vandals. So you got protesters and you got the vandals. And the protesters want to come out and protest. They want to get their voice heard. They want to be seen and everything else. Then you got the vandals. You know, the vandals, they vandalize, right? But the thing is in a lot of protests, at least like you have the protesters and the vandals all mixed in together. We got some fast movers over here.
Elementary school.
So yeah, we're passing Lowell Elementary, home of the Dragons. So you have protesters and vandals a lot of times all mixed up in one. You see what I'm saying? And so the point is I was getting at is that the last few days, you know, the police and the vandals have been testing each other's tactics. And I'll be honest with you, the first 2 days, the vandals won. But now you can kind of tell the difference between the two groups, because you got one group that kind of wants to, you know, chop it up with the police, and another group that's like, no, we have to keep moving, You know, they have to. Right now, the vandals see the police and people talking to the police as a stall tactic, meaning that the longer that they stop and talk or chant or protest or whatever with the police, it gives the police more time to reposition. Like I told you, this is a fast-moving protest. These guys are really stepping today, man. And so now I could see that part of the tactic here has changed to actually not engage with the police, because by engaging with the police, it gives the police an opportunity to reposition themselves. So it's a lot of cat and mouse that's going on. But I mean, this is a serious business out here, and it's definitely chess and not checkers. But you know, the vandals, the anarchists, the police, you know, it's a game of cat and mouse at the moment. So the numbers here keep getting bigger, by the way. The numbers are swollen right up there where everybody's turning left. That's Broadway, so we're back on Broadway. This is Mercer and Broadway. This is the crowd behind me. As you can see, I'm not overestimating or over-exaggerating the crowd size. This is a fairly big group here. And this isn't the only one currently in Seattle. There's also another protest, or a few more that are going on. There was a very big group in downtown. They were met with the flashbangs and the tear gas, and it split that group. Some stayed downtown. Others came up this way. This goes on all night?
Yeah, I'm pushing it.
Are you okay to be on camera?
Put me on camera.
Okay. So, I mean, man, I've seen you bark in some directions out here.
We're going back downtown. They can't keep us out of the city. They pushed us out. We got to go back down there. This is going on. We have people here painting over, erasing shit like that. I don't care. That's not the message. The message is we want to be heard. We the people. I'm not here for Black Lives Matter. I'm here for everybody. There's not only black people in this crowd.
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's mostly white people. This crowd looks about 95%
so
white.
That means that everybody's upset. Nobody want to see that shit no more. Nobody want to see a man dying on television on their phone. It's not right. These people are God. We are human beings. That man is a human being. For anybody else to do anything about it, they're wrong. Thank you, my brother.
All right. So, the gentleman I just spoke to right here, I'm identifying him as an organizer. He's been one of the people who have been barking orders over here. And he brought up a very interesting point. Let me give you a high shot here of Broadway. And you see the size of the protest as it moves down Broadway. We heard him say that this is gonna now go downtown. So we could probably expect the protest now to move downtown. And something else, and speaking to that gentleman there, is what he called out is very true. This crowd right here, this protest right here is 95, maybe 98% white. Mostly young white people, some older people too. There's very few black people here. There are some Hispanic people here. They've identified themselves Latinos for Black Lives. But this is a sizable protest that's going on here. And, you know, what he said is you know, people are mad because the white people are in the streets. So I don't know if that's the barometer or not, but for him, that's the indicator that he's using. And if that's the case, it's a lot of people in Seattle that are mad, because there's literally hundreds and hundreds of people up here on Broadway. We're passing Republican right now. We heard the organizers say that their plan was to go back downtown. Said clearly, this is their city as well, and they won't be kept out of downtown. Now, I can tell you this, as we saw earlier, the live stream we put up earlier, is that the National Guard, we saw them deployed right there in the shopping district in downtown Seattle, which will be around Pike and Pine, 5th and 6th. We saw that the National Guard was there. So heading back downtown, they're prepared for protesters, put it at that. I mean, we want to hope for the best. And I think the majority of people who are here, they're not looking for any violent confrontation at all. You know, that's not why they came here. But it would be foolish to say that there isn't an element in this crowd that did come specifically, you know, to tear stuff up. In a previous stream, I pointed some of those guys out, you know, and those guys never get on camera. You know what I'm saying? The first thing they say, get the camera out of my face. And they all got backpacks full of tools. So that element is here, but that can't be overshadowed that there's literally hundreds of people here right now marching all. I feel like we've marched all over Seattle, but from downtown to First Hill to Capitol Hill, now back here on Broadway and probably heading back downtown. These guys have, you know, it's been a peaceful, nonviolent protest. The city of Bellevue declares a state of emergency. Is that what you're saying, Adam Taylor? We got some reports, so if that's true and the city of Bellevue declares an emergency, now we talked about this yesterday and Friday, that the people that want to break stuff just want to break stuff. You see what I'm saying? They don't necessarily want a confrontation with the police. The ideologues want to be in front of the police. The people who want to break stuff just want to break it. And what we talked about was one of the tactics that very well might be used or used against the SPD and other law enforcement agencies, is that Seattle has drawn in so many law enforcement agencies. We saw earlier, I think on this stream, the Bellevue SWAT, their personnel carriers here in Seattle. Even Newcastle has police cars here. And basically what's happened is that Seattle has drawn in everybody's police resources. We saw like the King County Sheriff from the Muckleshoot tribe. The Muckleshoot police are in Seattle. The Maple Valley police are in Seattle. So basically all over the region, you're looking out, fam. Right, all throughout the region, the police forces in different cities have been reduced because all their people are here in Seattle. You know, this was a tactic, and talking to some of the organizers on the, I would say of the vandals, of the anarchists, is what they said was one of their plans was to be able to disorient with the police. And we've seen here, and we do see some tagging going on. What's up, fam? We see some tagging going on over here. So The tactics here, also, people should understand, is these guys got real deal tactics. You see on Instagram where people are like, oh, this is what you should do umbrella, get a laser, have milk, all that stuff. These guys been on that. Friday night, they were out with the umbrellas. They were out with the lasers in the eyes of the police. That was Friday night that was going on. You know what I'm saying? So the first 2 days here, we'll see what happens over in the city of Bellevue, but the first 2 days here, these guys had a whole tactic of distracting the police, one group distracting the police, and then another group going and vandalizing. So now, it very well could be the case, and we need to look into it and get more information on what's going on over in the city of Bellevue. But with all the police resources here in downtown Seattle, like I said, there's so many other soft targets now. When I tell you that all the police are in Seattle, I mean, I even saw Homeland Security. There's ICE. Like I said, there's police forces like Covington, Berrien, Des Moines. All the King County Sheriff has brought in a lot of their resources. Like I said, the Muckleshoot Reservation, their police forces out here. So, definitely don't want to give either side too much credit for anything, but, you know, this was definitely making the police use all of their resources and concentrate it in one place was definitely one of the things that one of the organizers that I interviewed talked about as a tactic. In the last 2 days, they've been able to take advantage of, you know, just outmaneuvering the SPD. And man, we'll see if that happens today. But like I said, they talked about Bellevue yesterday. They talked about the Ave and the U District yesterday. And they talked about some outlying cities, saying that, like, man, if they bring in the guard in Seattle, we're just going to go to other cities. So that's disappointing to hear. But I want you guys, I'm going to put the camera up here again so you can see the size of this protest, you know, and it's going on well behind me as well. So, you know, there's hundreds of people out here as we head back downtown. I told you previously, as a big guy, I'm just happy to be going back downhill because the uphill part of this protest, whew, it almost knocked me out the protest. I was going to have to just phone this one in. But I know you feel me, right? But yeah, they almost lost me when they went up Bourne Street. I was like, oh man, you know,
ass cops was like, you gonna make them work. Okay.
And well, you just said something important though. What you just said was the police were blocking. Well, they were blocking the street right there, yeah. But instead of, because you know, a lot of times people are like, the protesters were looking for conflict with the police. But you just said something very important. You said the police were blocking the street right there. They were blocking Pine or Pike. And as opposed to have a conflict with the police, you guys turned south on the Bourne Street. So
we're not here to fight with the police.
Right. Not here to fight with the police. Huh?
Kind of irrelevant.
You're not here to fight with the police. You're not here to break anything.
I'm here to demonstrate my right to protest.
Right.
That's the only reason why I'm here.
And that's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. Okay.
Some things need to be heard, and enough people say them. Yeah. We gotta make sure all this stuff gets heard.
Right. So the protest is amplifying the voice.
That's the point that they're the problem. We gotta make sure the voice gets heard.
Right.
Destruction seen.
And I think that this small conversation I'm having right here is representative kind of the makeup of the crowd here. Like, we've got white people, we got black people, we got Hispanic people, we got some Native people out here, we've got Asian people here that, you know, have all joined in. I think that conversation as well is very important because you hear it directly from people's mouths. You heard this young woman right here say that, man, we don't want to issue with the police. When they block the police, we go down a different street. We didn't come here to vandalize anything. We didn't come here to break anything.
I came here with garbage bags, first aid kits, milk, and water.
How about that?
I came with garbage bags, first aid kits, milk, and water. That's what I'm here with. Everywhere else. Yeah, I left my pistol at home. This is the first day I don't have my pistol. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, shit. Well, it's definitely for peace. I'm glad you didn't break the pistol. We don't need that heat. So, again, I think it's interesting to hear the protest. Okay, Bobby Stills, he says, yeah, they're looting in Bellevue. Well, so yeah, I guess it's going down in Bellevue. They said yesterday, and I wish I could identify they, but you know, clearly nobody's giving me a government. But they said yesterday that one of their plans was to pull in all the law enforcement into Seattle and then hit soft targets outside of Seattle. Pointed out earlier that the Bellevue SWAT cars are here in Seattle. So I keep getting reports that Bellevue's being looted. Yeah, Bellevue's being looted. But you know that SWAT car that was at the bottom of the hill in Bourne? That was a SWAT car from the city of Bellevue.
Wow. So
yeah.
You worried about us? You need to be worried about them.
Right, and that's
worried about your own people.
well, yeah. Well, so what I'm saying is that you know Seattle has pulled in so much resource over here that other law enforcement agencies are spread thin. I want to give you guys we ain't big time like Cairo or Como, so I can't give you the drone or the helicopter shot, but I can give you the arm extended shot of how big the crowd is that's gathered down there. You know. So I'm sure the city of Bellevue is going to have their own price to pay or story to tell as well if their city is getting looted and their officers are over here in Seattle, you know. So for people familiar with Capitol Hill, we are coming up here. We're coming up here on Bellevue. Over to the left. We're coming here at where Bellevue and Olive, you know, that funny intersection here on the bottom of Capitol Hill. Need a what? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Uncle Ike. Yeah. Actually, we ain't gonna give him no airtime. We're gonna take that off the screen. Hands up! All right, so moving back downtown, there's also peaceful protests and going on in Bellevue too. They just shut down I-5 again. So, April, when you say they, are protesters on I-5 or did the police close I-5? That's what I just asked April. She said it shut down, so I'm trying to see.
Yo, you've been there every step of the way.
This guy's been everywhere. All right.
Every step of the way. I swear he's on every corner, just fucking ripping it.
So we're approaching back down to downtown Seattle, and you can see the city right there in the background. I can tell you one thing, is the protest has definitely grown larger since we've been live. I don't know exactly how long we've been live here. Okay. So the DOT shut down I-5. I think they're assuming people might get on the freeway.
Oh, the DOT shut it down?
DOT shut it down. Thank you, April. Yeah. So we've heard directly looting at Macy's in Bellevue. Damn, that's right downtown at the mall. Where's the people? Like I said, man, there's a big chunk of Bellevue police over here. The Bellevue police have been over here supporting the Seattle police, and now Bellevue is being looted We saw the Bellevue SWAT vehicle was here. We got reports that Macy's in Bellevue right now is being looted. Downtown Bellevue is being looted. Their officers are here in Seattle. I don't know if that was part of the tactic, but what we have heard here, though, and talking to a lot of the protesters, the words that are at least coming out of their mouths are that they're not interested in any kind of protest that has violence. Now, clearly, there are people here who do want violence and do want to break shit, 100%. But there's a big element here of people who that's not their intent. Nuh-uh, it's closed. It's closed. It's closed. Well, I'm going to tell you this. They can go on the free... Well, I don't want to give these guys any advice, so let me speak a bit quieter here. So they can get... If they get on the freeway, then basically they're just there on the freeway, right? Because the freeway's closed. I mean, the police just keep them there all night. Now, you see the police are now... I'm not that good at this zoom thing on this phone. Let me try to zoom the screen in. So, somehow, City of Bellevue just declared a civil emergency. I bet they did, Matthew. Like I said, they have no officers there. I mean, if I lived in Bellevue, man, I'd be pissed. A lot of their law enforcement resources are sitting over here in Seattle, and downtown is being looted. That's crazy. So, right. So, just kind of reports that are coming in over the stream. Big shout out to April, Matthew, and a few other people here, Joshua, for giving some information here. So what we're getting, like I just mentioned, is I-5, part of I-5 has been closed by DOT, by SDOT. So I-5 has been closed. The other issue that we come across here is we got reports now of looting and violence out in Bellevue, in the city of Bellevue. Nah, people didn't get on the freeway, but it looks like they're ready to take this into downtown. One group tried to avoid the police right here and head kind of into South Lake Union, and they're reconstituting the group, and it looks like they're going to head directly into downtown. Nah, nobody got on the freeway. So what we're right now, when we get downtown, what I told you we saw before is you have the SPD, so many police agencies, Homeland Security, a bunch of other ones that are down here, and you have the National Guard. So many people I've talked to today in this protest said they're just doing that. They came here to protest. They're not here to be violent. They're not here to vandalize anything. They just feel that by protesting, they are amplifying a message that needs to be heard. Now, I keep repeating that until I see something different, because I think that we need to be able to separate protesters from vandals, you know, or protesters from people who have violent intentions. So now we're back here on Boren. And it looks like we got an impasse here. You're here and let us march. You're here and let us march. So now Bellevue's requesting, Adam Taylor's saying that Bellevue's requesting the National Guard. They probably need it. There's no active looting going on here. Let me make my way up here to the front. So what we've got here, and now the city of Bellevue has just declared an emergency over there, and they're asking for the National Guard to be deployed to the city of Bellevue. There's looting going on at the Macy's at Bell Square Mall. As our understanding, there's looting going on at the Macy's over there, and over here, this protest has now come to a culmination here on Olive and Boren. So we're in Olive and Boren. They're all falling here. So what police are saying here is they're talking about the curfew, and they're saying now she's addressing that there's a curfew. Right. So now I've been following this protest for about an hour. It's now reached Olive and Boren. Olive and Boren. Olive and Boren here. SPD's held a line right here. The protesters are saying, let us march. And again, regionally, what we're hearing is the city of Bellevue is being tore up right now. Macy's is being looted, and they're actually asking for the National Guard from Seattle to come over and assist in the city of Bellevue right now as they're looting in downtown Bellevue and protests in Bellevue. We're getting more reports of that now, and the police, the speaker wasn't. There you go. Okay, let's listen in. What's he saying? Is he giving them an order to disperse? It's hard to hear. You couldn't hear me. I was asking this officer if she heard. It's hard to hear the order. It's hard to hear the order. There's an order given. Yeah, Jose, the city of Bellevue is definitely caught off guard when you say that, because like I said, Bellevue sent their resources here to Seattle. They have an armored personnel carrier. That might be it over there. Several Bellevue police officers, they're here in Seattle. So you're right, the Bellevue has been caught off guard. And to be honest with you, a lot of places across Seattle are off guard, across the region are off guard. I mean, there's Muckleshoot police here, like I said. There's Newcastle. There's some of everything that's here. So, they're giving a warning over here. He's giving another warning. We see that we see the officer with the flashbang guns. We see the officers with the tear gas guns. We also see a lot of the bike cops that have come down here. Now, by the look of things, I think that tear gas would be a last option, especially since the officers that have arrived here don't have gas masks on. Protest is moving out. Again, this is the third or fourth time now where we've seen the protesters and the police come face to face. There hasn't been any conflict. People have just turned and gone another direction, you know? And so, found myself from the front of the protest, now at the back, and going uphill again. Whew. So, there's a few people that have stayed here. Probably not wise, to be honest with you. Everybody out right now is out past curfew. You might say, Omari, you're out past curfew as well. I'm a working member of the media, which Mayor Durkin deemed essential. So I am, the curfew doesn't necessarily apply to me. So I'm not out here thrill seeking or anything like that. I'm a working member of the media. And clearly, I don't see any of the other major media in this crowd, particular crowd I'm in. So whoever's watching this, probably getting a unique vantage point of at least this particular protest. So we've gone back up here. Whew. I don't know if the plan is to tire people out, but nah, good looking out, DQ. I got both battery chargers. I got both bricks. Big shout out, that's my man Daryl Glover. He's always looking out for me. Dancing Rain, if you guys watch our live news show every morning from 11 to 12, Daryl is he's the director for that show. So yeah, now I got a battery pack, Daryl, thank you. Bellevue mayor just announced a curfew, huh? Wow. So, what SPD has done now is they're literally pushing the protesters back up to Capitol Hill. So we saw the other night that SPD swept the protesters from downtown into the International District. And once in the International District, the people who did come to actually vandalize, they had a field day. There was no police there. So, yeah, you saw that? They swept them. I was right there, I saw it. They swept them from 5th and Marion all the way past City Hall, down to Jackson, into the International District, and then, yeah, right. And those people, the small business owners in the International District, they weren't there to protect their property. Those are elders and seniors that are there. And all their stuff got tore up. Yeah. No, I'm good, DQ. Thank you, though. I got both bricks. So if this battery packs have as much power as you say they do, I should be good for a while. So it looks like guys are going back up here, taking a right on Melrose. Next street over is Pine. Whew. There's some cheering going on up here in the intersection. So far, according to Apple Watch, I'm 4.5 miles in altogether. So the crowd's tightened up here on Melrose. It's Melrose as they shout George Floyd. George Floyd! George Floyd! Next block over is Pine. George Floyd! Now, Bellevue SWAT entered Bellevue Square. I guess they made their way back from Seattle. SWAT ain't coming to subdue nowhere. Wow. So this is the scene. This is Capitol Hill. This is Melrose Street. And like I said, this is a protest that has gained momentum. It's actually gained momentum since we've been out here. We've seen more and more people join this protest. This is also a protest where protect Barbie Parker, huh? This is also a protest where we've seen 3 or 4 times where the protesters and the police have come face to face, but there hasn't been any conflict. Right. Oh, that's what's up, Leah. Thank you. In that case, we'll keep it going. But yeah, so I guess maybe you guys can read this on the screen as well. But so what Leah's saying is that majority of media is over there in Bellevue on the east side. I mean, once again, I mean, there's just so many points of failure with this. So now we're passing Pine. Damn. Oh man, they're going back uphill. Well, so here on Pine in Melrose, is that gas? Oh, there's a police vehicle here, guys. There's a police vehicle. There's a police vehicle that's been surrounded. This might not necessarily be a good look. I think they're gonna let him out. They're gonna let him out. Again, the majority of the people here are wanting peace. They've let the police they've let the police car exit. And again, I think that's a demonstration there of the general posture of this protest. We've seen in earlier protests here in Seattle and definitely all across the country, if you had a police vehicle like that surrounded by hundreds of people, it might really be on fire right now. However, these protesters, staying true to their word that they don't want violence, you see they opened the pathway for the police van to exit. Back uphill here, she's saying serenade. I'm saying Breonna Taylor right now. You guys might remember Breonna Taylor is the EMT who was murdered by the police in Louisville. And so they're gonna say her name, Breonna Taylor. My friends, this protest has grown.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
It's grown. Now, I don't know exactly where it's going. Like, we've literally been all over downtown and Capitol Hill at this point, but people are still marching. And I mean, like I said, the thing is for the most part, what we can see is nobody's looking to be violent or to destroy anything. We do know, however, it's early in the day, and all right. All right, so we're continuing to head east here on Pine. If there's any significance to that in logistics, the East Precinct is about 4 blocks in front of us, or 5 blocks in front of us. I doubt that is the destination of this group, but this is the same street that the East Precinct is on. These guys, yeah, it's good. So we're approaching Belmont and Pine right here. We're about a block or two from Broadway. And like I said, it's interesting the number of people who just keep joining into the protest. Now they're saying, say his name, George Floyd. All right. Protest. Looks like they stopped up here. Make my way to the front. Whew. Man, I'd pay like $20 for a water right now. Not even a big water, just a little water. Okay, looks like one of the organizers is talking here. See if I can make my way in here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Your life matter. Make sure you take care of yourself as well.
All right. Didn't quite catch much of what was said there, but did make my way back up to the front of the protest. We're back underway.
George Floyd.
Man, when you get to Broadway, I'll be happy to see you, Bobby Stills. Hot dog. So now Pine and Bolston, people familiar with Seattle, Capitol Hill area, we're 1 block from Broadway. some other landmarks over in this area. Cal Anderson Park, I think Q Nightclub, Molly Moon.
George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! Stop smoking cigarettes in the crowd too. It doesn't mean you're on the thing.
Here's a look back at the size of the crowd here today. Again, shouting, say her name.
Breonna Taylor!
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor! 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 Breonna
So,
Taylor!
considering that now, because there's a curfew going on right now in the city of Seattle, we're 1 hour and 8 minutes into the curfew, which was set for 5 o'clock. The police have been effective thus far in keeping the protesters back out of downtown once they left downtown. So once they left downtown, let's just say it won't be easy for them to get back into downtown. But what that also means, if there is an issue of violence, all that's happened is that people have been swept from a position that's highly fortified to one that might have very little defense. There's the East Precinct in front of us. Probably can't see it easily right now. There's a barricade around the East Precinct. There's a barricade, lots of officers. I think this is going to the East Precinct, guys. Huh? Yeah, that's the East Precinct right in front of us. Right. It wouldn't be sound tactically for any side of a park that has fences. So let me make my way up here to the front. Whew. Yeah. So let me get stationary here because I know this camera's a bit shaky. That's the East Precinct in front of us. No, what'd he say?
Up to the gate, give them 5 feet.
Up to the gate.
Peacefully, 5 feet.
Up to the gate peacefully, 5 feet. So now, what's happening here is they're approaching the East Precinct. Now, I'm glad we're getting this on tape. The organizer said they're going to the precinct. He gave everybody a directive to stay 5 feet from the barricade. The organizer told the protesters, stay 5 feet from the barricade. I just want to repeat that one more time. The people who have been leading this protest gave a clear instruction to people following them to stay 5 feet back from the East Precinct barricade. Now, they said they came here for a peaceful protest. I don't have any reason to believe that's not what's going to occur. If by chance something else does occur, though, I think it's good that we've documented here that they said they don't want to issue with the police. They're approaching the barricade. They plan to stay 5 feet back from the barricade. We'll see what happens. That's the East Precinct in front of us. on 10th and Pine. That's the East Precinct right there. We'll go find that one and we'll see what's up. Hey, more. All right. We'll see what happens. Just gonna run up here. All right, so we're about 30 feet from the East Precinct. This is the crowd out here right now. This is the East Precinct. You hear a call, they're saying white bodies to the front. They said that they wanted a 5-foot barrier. The organizers said they wanted a 5-foot barrier. Right now, we see that they put a 5-foot barrier here. They said the intention of this protest is peaceful. I've been following this protest now for over an hour and 5 miles, and I don't have any reason to think that it's anything different. Now, what we do see here, which is interesting, is we see a call for white people to the front. Now, if you're white and you're on the stream and you're hearing that, you're like, what does that mean? What it means is that in the history of protests, the police are less likely to react when it's white people in front of them. It's just kind of a fact, man. And so they've called white people to the front. And basically now, you've got all the white people here to the front. A big issue is, like I said, the city of Seattle consumed so much police resource. We saw a Bellevue SWAT vehicle here earlier today, or a Bellevue personnel carrier here earlier, and the city of Bellevue's being looted. There's so much police resources here in Seattle right now. So we've been following these guys now since 4th and Union, up to Capitol Hill, down to downtown, and back here again right now. And so in the 4.5 miles that we've been following this group of protesters, they've had several run-ins with the SPD, but it's been peaceful every time. We just left from down there by South Lake Union. The police blocked access down there, and this group again peacefully turned around there. I've witnessed one arrest, which is about 45 minutes ago, which was also on Bourne Street, but there's only been one arrest that I've seen thus far out of this group. Am I in your shot? How are you? So again, in the 1 hour here that we've been following these guys, and according, like I said, according to the Apple Watch now, 4.6 miles, there's no reason to think that this will be less than peaceful here. These guys have had lots of opportunity for conflict in the last hour or hour and a half. There was an incident that involved one arrest on Bourne. When these protesters were downtown, though, there was quite a few flashbangs as well as tear gas downtown. But since the protests left downtown, there's been very few incidents. Well, right. So I'm glad they finally caught up with us. Right. So what she's saying is that they plan to be stationary here they plan to be stationary here until they're able to clear Pine Street. So we'll creep up over here.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, you guys can't say I don't really be here if you see me on the news.
Nah, there's peace. No, this is all peace. This is a peaceful protest. This is not a violent protest.
So you hear him now.
Stand up, bro. Stand up.
Quiet. No matter what, this is still a Black Lives Matter rally.
Black Lives Matter. So you think that when people say no peace, that they're saying that it's violence?
I'm saying that it opens up the opportunity for people who are not aware of what that says.
Okay.
Because the conditions of the vernacular does not suggest peace. No violence, no justice, no peace means unrest and actions that go against her resistance.
Right.
That's not what we're here to do. And it's not a Black Lives Matter. This is not Black Lives Matter. This is everybody. Right, everybody matters. This is a privileged piece. There's more white faces out in this audience than there are
Say
black
that one
faces.
more time.
This is a privileged rally. There's more white faces than there are black faces, and it's imperative to recognize that this is about utilizing the conditions of authority that are already given. This is not an act against.
Right.
And that's what's being presented. It's not an act against.
Right.
Do it on the speaker, please. It's fine.
You guys planning on staying here?
Officer Loud. Officer Loud. Can we please pass peacefully?
So they're now requesting to pass SPD.
Can we have Lieutenant Diamond? Can we Lieutenant Diamond? I believe he's here.
So what's happening right here is they're looking for, basically they're formally going to request that the police move. Yep.
We are asking if we can please go forward peacefully. Please go forward peacefully. The right as an American citizen. Please pass it back.
All right. So what's happened here?
Can we go forward peacefully, please? What is your motive? What's the point in going past? What's the point in progressing?
When you're protesting, you're going downward. So what's their point blocking us, bro? Okay, what's their point to blocking us?
The conditions that they're blocking us is because yesterday.
All right. So what's happened is this. I'm a community media, bro. So that's why I want to document this. What we're saying is, you guys have now reached the East Precinct, and you're asking the East Precinct for permission to pass through here. The officer that you've talked to basically said he's going to send it up the chain and get back to you. Now, I've been following this protest now since you guys were downtown. I've been following you guys since you're downtown, up Boring, all around everywhere else. What's your objective today?
Honestly, it's just that we can, one, show that there's a united strength within all of our people, but also I would love to give the opportunity to the officers to let them be allies to us, to not impede our motion and to be with us, stand with us, to trust us. We've proven that this group of people march all throughout Seattle peacefully. When we kneel in front, we just follow one more space.
Right.
What is the point of your protest in front of the police precinct and be good?
I think that's an important question.
Okay, here's why. If the point of your protest is to gain acknowledgement for something that has been wrong, on a typical approach, it's to get these people to be acknowledging. When the Black Lives move in a momentum to get political activism going, it's to gain white support in the condition of such thing and acknowledgement.
We got a lot of white support out here today.
This is it. You already have what you're looking for. Now you need to use your privilege.
Yeah, April, it gets crazy with the protests when you get this many people because so many people are streaming. There's a lot that's being used. So.
They're gonna let us through.
We have to be better than them.
It's not.
Because we are colored, we have to do better than them.
Go.
Every day,
Nope.
not just today.
Go back. You standing by the gate just shows them that
You
you're
know what
ready.
it's like to live in fear every single
So,
day of your fucking life.
I don't think that's it.
The white
So there you go.
showing their privilege.
So here's a gold shield here.
Sorry, it took us a little bit longer to get here.
By the way, okay. So what's your end goal here?
Honestly, we just want to go in front of the police precinct.
You guys are gonna. That's not gonna. That will. We cannot allow that. We got you right here. You can within visual sight, and we can hear you. So that's going to be where it lands. But if you want to get somewhere? Do you want us to facilitate it? See, I thought you said Cal Anderson last time.
This was the place of Cal Anderson.
Okay. All right. Oh, this place. Okay. Cal Anderson's here close. I can't let you come back here. But where else are you going to want to go? And you guys can hang out right here.
So what you're seeing here is a negotiation.
Okay, so you guys are good right here then?
We would prefer to just.
I can't let that happen here.
Why not? Is there a law that stops us from getting near the precinct?
Yeah, we're securing it, right? We need to have a viable precinct so it can operate. Because right now we're answering 911 calls out. So this precinct services a large community in the central district. That people call in if they're getting burglaries, if somebody gets seriously injured, if we have whatever, right? There's a lot of bad stuff that happens we have to respond to. So we need a viable resource. Right here we can maintain a viable resource. We can respond to community needs. And you guys can say your free speech. We want to support that.
What we want to see is not just supporting free speech, but supporting Black lives.
Yeah, we cannot take, we're not taking any sides, but what we're here for, and I believe in, and we're protecting is First Amendment right to free speech, right?
She's going to make a statement.
That,
Okay.
He's going to make a physical statement. She's going to force he's going to force us to be arrested.
Oh man.
She's not going to get physical.
Oh man. I mean, these guys don't even. But I'm saying, look at. Let's be fair. SPD, man, they're over there chilling. Good.
If you cross with us,
let me see that. I might be able to do better. Maybe like you and you would come and take a photo, like in front of the precinct and send it back over. You want that?
No. This lady wants to be arrested for crossing your boundary. Can you arrest her?
Hey, Diamond, where's this going to end up tonight, sir? What's your strategy tonight with the protesters? What's your strategy tonight with the protesters?
Here, I'll give you a stepping stool.
All right, so now they're requesting a step back. All right. Now you see, bro. So now we see this individual right here is now saying that they want to be arrested. Man. Now, as a member of the media, I'm unbiased here, man. But as somebody who lives here, right here in the community, bro, I don't know if this is the best way to murder yourself, is to go get yourself arrested. I mean, I'm going to just be fair in my assessment here. These officers in the East Precinct don't look anxious to arrest anybody. You know, they don't look anxious to arrest anybody. And I don't think it's wise for you right now to want to martyr yourself, as you say, for this cause of getting arrested. The SPD hasn't done anything over here but stand their ground. There's the other protesters. So it's been a hairy situation here. Now we've got people who want to get arrested. You got another group here.
Wants to get herself arrested for something.
Right. We got another group here where it's like it's a mess, man. You know. Hey, Bobby Stills, what's up, baby?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man, you really made it up here. If you got a water, man, I'm your biggest fan for life. Oh, my God. Yo, My man B Stills, he found me, he brought me a water. God bless you, bro. Oh my God. Woo. Man, that you don't know how much this water means to me, brother. Woo. It's my man, Bobby Stills. Thank you, bro. So it's good. The mainstream media finally caught up with everybody. Yeah. Thank you, bro. Thank you. God bless you.
You got a backpack on you?
Nah, man, I left the backpack at home. It was too much walking.
I can fill it back up for you.
Oh my God.
Another battery back?
Huh? No, oh, battery. No, so my batteries are one thing I got good. I got a battery pack over here. I got like 20 hours of battery.
Alright. Let me know if you need anything else.
Thank you, bro. This water saved my life. My man B Stills, you know what I'm saying? He saw me on the live saying I needed some water. He came and found me. Yeah. So, it's fine. Where's this young lady at? Yeah, so they're breaking it up. Okay, thank you, bro. Thank you. All right. So we're re-energized back here. Whew. Took a second. So what we do see is once we got here to the front and we got here to the East Precinct, we do see a difference and a few different philosophies. All of them are non-violent. All of them are non-violent, but there are some people who are like, well, we want to pass through, we want the police to leave, move. There's some people who want to jump the fence. There's other people who, you know, want people to stay back, and there's other people here who want to antagonize the police. So this shit is interesting. They removed a member of the press.
She's kind of a known quantity at these protests.
Oh, okay.
She works with the 3%ers.
Oh, the Washington 3%er and the Proud Boys, huh?
She doxes people all the time.
Okay. So apparently they've removed someone from the audience. They said is a member of the Proud Boys and the Washington 3%ers. Right. So.
They're not gonna fucking allow. She was trying to fight us. She was trying to fight us. She was trying to make this fight. And guess what? We aren't fucking fighting. Angry. We are hurt. We are broken. We are sad. We are dying. But no fucking more. That shit is not allowed here. It will never be allowed. Stand together. Unity. That's what this is all about. Unity.
So, what?
Exactly what they want. The minute there's chaos is the minute they rush us. You saw it yesterday when they pushed us up their way. And I got pushed into a gate, and I got broken. And kids got sprayed, and kids got ran over.
I got sprayed yesterday? Why? For helping somebody up off the fucking ground.
They are more scared of you.
I had a flashbang thrown at me. Why? My best friend had a flashbang thrown directly at her twice. What were we doing? This. you're fucking doing. That's it. That's it. What else do we do when they throw shit at us? What else do we do when they shoot us? What else do we do when they beat us in the face with their fucking batons? We cross the street. We play with a toy gun. We drive home in our car with our families. We eat ice cream in our fucking homes. We're not going to stand for this anymore. We're done. We're tired. We want to march.
So just to set some context here, that's the 8th precinct that's behind us. We're looking at one of the organizers here.
We want peace.
Hands up.
We want justice.
Don't
There was someone who did something illegal.
Hands up! Don't shoot! 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 Hands up! Don't shoot!
I want peace, and I will be out here risking my life just like everybody else until there is peace. I don't get the privilege to stay at home. I don't get the privilege to stay at home. I will be out here every day until it is done. Until there is peace.
100%.
That's right.
100%, bro. I love that.
Until there's peace. Until there's peace. Who here in their life has actually true no peace? I don't see a single fucking hand up.
Starting destruction, starting violence, then you are part of
It's not just our justice system that's broken. Our government.
We are the ones that they target. So your privilege,
Our society, our core of who we fucking are has been broken for a long fucking time.
because we don't get that. We don't. Our kids don't get that. Our parents don't get that. Our brothers and sisters who are out here don't get that. Our indigenous
Look
people
where
don't
I
get
am
that.
now. So your reason and nephews don't have to. We should be able to breathe. We should be able to breathe.
I want our black people to know that our voices are human.
I should be able to fucking breathe. Can you breathe? Can you fucking breathe? I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
What we want. As a mixed person, my family, my white family is out here with me. My white family is getting shot at.
If you don't know what BLM is actually about, ask the black person next to you. You shouldn't be here unless you've educated yourself on why we're fucking standing here.
All right, so we've got, this is our original protest that I caught up with back downtown on 4th and Marion, around that area. And about 4.5 miles. Sorry, everybody. I'm just dehydrated. That one bottle of water probably went fast. So basically, what we're seeing here is we've got a few different people saying a few different things about whose march or protest this is. The young lady here, I believe she's with Black Lives Matter, and I mean her message is peace. But then we've also got another guy who's over here who's saying that it's not a Black Lives Matter protest, and he's went as far as to say that Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. But either way, the BLM people, the BLM and the people who aren't BLM, they're both saying they want peace. So, and they're both stressing for peace today. So we'll see. We'll see how it breaks down. But again, so this was the original group. They wanted to get passage here past the East Precinct. The East Precinct is highly fortified.
I want everybody to be quiet for a second.
It's highly.
Because you know what we're gonna do?
It's highly whatchamacallit. I'm gonna put the camera right here for a second. Let me catch my breath.
If you have lost somebody, I want to hear that from you. Thank you. God, big matter. Somebody else is being the
Ricardo!
What was it? Who else?
Ricardo!
Say that again.
So, flip side over here is, again, this is the barricade here that's been put up at the East Precinct. Goes back quite a few blocks here across Pine Street. You have the SPD here, King County Sheriff. Don't know who might even be behind that right there. But what I can say with this protest falling for the last hour and a half is everybody saying they want, you know, a peaceful expression here. Every time that they've run into the police downtown as well up as on Capitol Hill, they just turn the other direction. However, right here, what they're requesting is that what they're requesting here is passage past the East Precinct. I'll be honest with you, I don't see the officers giving up access here to the East Precinct. That's just probably not what's going to happen. I think the protesters know that's not going to happen as well. They made a symbolic request to the captain here, saying that they wanted passage on the street, and I think the captain made it clear to him that that's what was not going to occur. Let me see real quick. Thank you.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
One unity, please.
We're here.
Check out your local community and see what they did to the last one.
While I agree with what he's saying, that is not what today is. Today is about standing up for those who have died against corrupt police brutality.
Amen.
You're going to be out here tomorrow, the next day, and continue.
Please stop. Your voices do matter. He's not wrong.
Like I said, you see there's a few different ideologies that are out here, but one thing everybody is agreeing with here is that they want a peaceful protest today. Now, what they might be advocating for tomorrow, can't really tell you. It hasn't been clear, but you know what I'm saying? Right. So, to be honest with you, right here, you know, this is the scene is set where, you know, Capitol Hill right now. There's between the different streets on Capitol Hill, there's a few hundred protesters. We don't know what's going on the other side over on Pike. There was a crowd that went from this side over to the other side. They went from Pine Street to Pike Street. And the precinct runs about half the block. So we don't know what's occurring on the other side of the precinct. This precinct straddles 12th and Pine Street. And of course, we can't see what's going on over on Pine. Man, is it really that bad over in Bellevue, huh? That's crazy.
The progress has been made. You hear it now.
That's
Every
excuse me, fam.
political action movement before
So now we see the guys in the gas mask. That always changes the tone just a bit. And now if these guys replace these guys, then we've got an issue here. This is what we see tactically. If the guys in the gas mask replace the guys without the gas mask, then we see that it's a difference in posture. There's a difference in posture occurring right here at the East Precinct, as we see the officers that did not have gas masks and things like that, they're putting the gas masks on. So I know for them, they probably don't see that as an escalation, but for people that have been reporting, like myself, on the protest, whenever you see the gas mask come out, there's an expectation that there might be a difference in posture. And there we go, right there, just like I said, that the bikes are now going to the back and the gas masks are coming to the front. The police are now changing their posture here at the East Precinct. The bikes are being relieved. The gas masks are now coming to the front. The posture at the East Precinct is now changing. And this is exactly what I told you guys. Whenever you see there now, the SPD has now changed their posture here at the precinct. They've removed the bikes. They've brought in the gas masks. The posture here is now changed at the East Precinct. We've seen this the last 3 nights, and even before a protest here, is when the gas mask comes out, it's the SPD, whether they're intending to or not, is definitely sending a different signal to the protesters who thus far have assembled peacefully. They've changed the posture here has changed, and like I said, for people who follow this, we also see the flashbang gun is out here now. The posture of the Seattle police is totally changed now at the East Precinct, 100%. The bikes were out here earlier. The bikes have now been removed by officers in gas masks. The flashbang gun is here. All the officers that were on bikes have now moved back. So I don't know if this was the police's intention to project a different in posture, but message has been received. So we've got something definitely different now that's occurring here. The King County Sheriffs, which are literally backing up the SPD, they also now are putting on gas masks. And we see the guy, whenever you see the guy in the gray jumpsuits, like right there, and you see the I don't know what kind of, if you call it a gun, but it shoots a projectile for flashbangs, for gas, and everything else. Now, it very well could be that the officers are preparing for the worst. We don't know what else is going on here in Seattle. We also don't know what's going on the other side of the police precinct. So we have no idea, but I do know that right here, the posture of the SPD has changed just over the next few minutes. We have the officers now with the gas masks out, and they've been replaced now by the officers with the bikes. Now the officers that are on the bikes are now going and putting their gas masks on. We see the officer who has the flashbang gun. We also see the tear gas out here. Also, the King County Sheriff has put on their gas mask. Now, I've been on this protest for an hour and a half from downtown. It's been peaceful the whole time. Since we were on 4th and Marion, went up Capitol Hill, there's been a few run-ins with the police and where the protesters have just gone a different direction. A clear change in posture here at the East Precinct right now. Hopefully that isn't a precursor of tear gas. We've eaten enough tear gas out here trying to report on this in the last 3 days, man, to last a long, long time. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know that there's a gold badge here. His name's Dimet. I believe that's his name. He was very vocal. He came out earlier. He talked to the protesters. I mean, it might be good if he came out and actually addressed, because, I mean, clearly everybody here sees this change in posture with SPD. It very well could be that the bike guys were here waiting for the guys with the gas masks to get here. I'm not sure, but, you know, they're here now. Nah, Eric didn't go to Bellevue, man. He decided against that. He thought it wasn't going to be wise, and that, you know, he might get caught up and be assumed as a protester. You know, even today, before I get out of here, I'll turn the camera on myself. Even today, I changed my dress from yesterday. Yesterday, I was in a black sweatshirt and some camouflage pants. Today, I'm wearing my Mariners shirt, my Mariners hat, and everything else. I want to be able to more clearly identify myself as a member of the media, because a few times we got jammed up yesterday. So So he's saying the badge number is hidden. Is that the case? See, the badge is covered.
We are under, but
Yeah.
Anderson Park. By the liquor store. It's like 12th and Pine.
So there's this right here. Hey, Bobby, let me know if you need anything. Man, if you come back this way, man, I just need some more water, bro. And then what I'm saying. Oh, thanks, man. Right. So now, yeah, clearly the position has changed here. The position has changed here at the East Precinct. Like I said, the batons are out and the gas masks are out. Previously, the bikes were out. I think the bikes are the front line that the protesters are used to bumping into. But now, you know, guys are out in the gas masks. And believe me, I mean, those gas masks are hot and they're uncomfortable. And, you know, usually the police don't want to put on the gas mask unless they absolutely have to, which also sends another message to the protesters that if guys are wearing these heavy, hot gas masks right now, that, you know, there very well might be something on the horizon. We're hoping not, though. Thus far, this protest has been peaceful. 100%, you know, like I said, almost 4 miles in, and definitely over an hour and some change, maybe even on this stream right here. The protest has been peaceful. The posture has changed, though. So what he's saying here is that they're hiding the badge number, or the badge numbers are covered. That's what he's saying. Now, what we have seen the last 3 days since Friday's protest and everything else is that we have seen the badge numbers covered. Now, this officer right here does have about.
They might have had to launch gas up there because the
okay, that's what.
And
it's two different.
It comes down the hill.
Okay.
So I needed to have my folks put their masks on.
Okay.
So that they didn't get gassed.
Okay.
Right now, everybody here has been peaceful.
It's peaceful, right?
So we don't anticipate.
Okay. And that's what that's what we just told them, that you might have put on gas because we don't know what's going on the other side of the precinct. Exactly. So it very well could be the mask. Thank you for coming out here and explaining. Because you know, when the posture changed, we immediately, you know, it's a message that's sent when the posture changes. Thank you, officer.
And you know, the worst part about wearing not only the mask, you know, off of these,
right?
It's so hard to see our face,
right?
And you know, sometimes we're smiling and you can't see it,
right? You hear that? Just explaining to us because we here first.
Gas goes downhill, and so we're concerned that our guys were going to have some exposure here, so we had them go ahead and put their masks on.
So you're going to launch gas up the hill because
they might have.
Because
they were starting to take bottles.
Oh, because of vandalism?
No, they were starting to take bottles at the officers at the next intersection.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but it sounds as if that group has already moved. Right now, this has been a very peaceful group, and we don't intend to do anything other than stand here and have a nice conversation.
Fantastic.
Oh, my last name is Bill Hagan.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Because we are worried because the
situation changed. We are worried. Because they have like
you know what?
You know, like I was saying to these gentlemen, at this point, everything's been peaceful, so we don't anticipate.
You know what?
And we do appreciate you guys being peaceful. Last night was not what we want to see.
Officer, when
you guys intend to use force in order to dissipate, since it is after curfew, will you be announcing that before using force?
So, to answer your question, if we start taking lots and officers start getting assaulted, we will probably immediately.
Okay.
But if not, if the decision is made to clear the street, probably myself or the precinct captain will give a dispersal order.
Okay.
We'll give a warning, and we'll also give a route, a safe access route.
Can you explain how the curfew is legitimate given the constitutional right to assemble?
I can't.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'll just leave it with this, officer. One of the best ways of de-escalation is what you're doing right here. It's communication. Yeah, this is the best way to de-escalate is communication. Thank you, officer. There you go. Right out of SPD. Hey, so this is Go Hagan, I believe his name is, here at the East Precinct. He's a sergeant here, and what we saw right there from him was a great example of some leadership and communication on the SPD side, because clearly when we're reporting that the posture has changed. Hey, these guys are in gas masks and everything else, which you know, sends a signal out to the crowd. When you see the guys who are in bicycles and then all of a sudden you see gas masks, then, you know, I mean, automatically it's a change in posture. And now what happened is this officer right here, this sergeant, who's still actually talking to people right here, he came out and explained that a few blocks from here, there was an incident, there's gas that's been deployed, that the way the gas flows in the wind, the gas might come downhill. He's asked them to put on their mask and also make these guys aware that there's gas out here. So, you know, I mean, the thing is, what we always want to do is, at least myself as a journalist, is just be fair. And you guys see what I see. And what I saw right there is, like I said, was SPD coming out and really de-escalating a situation of how they changed their posture, put on their gas masks and batons and everything. And at least we got some explanation of that. Because, you know, just as a journalist, as a member of the media, I mean, you take that as a sign. You're like, oh, man, it's getting ready to go down. Also, what he said, that you guys probably, if you heard him, great. If you didn't hear him, what he said is that as long as people are peaceful, they have no intention, basically, of doing anything right here. They said that they feel that it's a peaceful protest. They've been following this particular protest for a while. Now, back there, this other protest, there's another protest. Those are hundreds of people that are back there. And they keep going. They keep going. Right. And so also, I hope you guys are seeing this as well, is that we're definitely getting the scoop, so to speak, before everybody else. So now I think we'll see how the posture changes. Hey, Sarge, real quick here. Now this protest has been peaceful, 100%. I've been on them since downtown, and they've come up with everything. But now they're mixing with another crowd there. Do you have any? You see what I'm saying? Is there any scoop on that other crowd?
I don't have any, but you know, the best possible thing you can do is, because we can't differentiate.
Right.
And one of the hardest things is there's somebody that wants to agitate.
Right.
And they're in the crowd.
Right.
And it's so hard for us to differentiate between those that mean us harm and those that don't. The best possible thing you can do is to, and forgive the word is to police yourselves. If you see somebody that's attacking law enforcement, you know, to say, hey, that's not what we're all about. If you see somebody that is, you know, causing damage or looting or vandalism, you know, if you bring that person back in the fold, saying we're trying to serve a legitimate First Amendment purpose here. You know, I'll tell you this. People are really surprised to find how liberty-loving law enforcement officers really are. I believe in the First Amendment. I love the fact that you're out here exercising because, quite frankly, if we don't exercise them, they gradually erode to the point where we lose them.
You need conflict.
You do. Well, not just conflict, but more importantly, you need the exercise of your civil liberties.
Right.
Because if you don't exercise them, they shrink and shrivel away.
Would it be fair to say then, I heard you earlier, I just wanted to circle back around it, when they asked earlier what your plan was for them to disperse past curfew, clearly they've dispersed themselves. You said, like, look, man, you know, you guys are assembling peacefully. If you're not attacking our precinct, we're not in a hurry to you know, to escalate anything.
You know, and the only thing that I have heard, you know, they have a curfew.
Right.
And there has been some instructions about trying to keep people out of the downtown court because of the looting before it. So I anticipate possibly having officers around the downtown court keeping people from coming in.
Right.
So, but other than that, you know, we'll follow you guys around all day.
It is what it is.
Go for a walk with us.
Right on. Thank you, Sergeant. Good luck. Whew. This is a very big protest. I was talking to the sergeant there for a few minutes, and it's still going. So now I'm coming in at the tail end. Whew. I think we're gonna go into mile number 6 here in a minute. These dogs is barking. Some of you guys might know what that phrase means. All right. Protests on the move. So the reason why I asked that question as to who is doing what is now the crowds have mixed. And so if you guys have been following me here, the crowd, the protesters I was with before, 100%, that was a positive, peaceful protest. However, one protest has now mixed into another protest. I don't know what the storyline is on this other protest group. I know it's much larger though. And now up here on Broadway, or in the Broadway area. So now two protests have now melded into one. The size is at least doubled or tripled. Bobby Stills, if you're still out there and you're gonna, yeah, they're walking me up. Bobby Stills, if you're still out there, man, you see we moving, bring water. Suffering out here. All right, so again, we heard what SPD said, and I think that the sergeant there was being a realist when he said, like, look, man, they're not, I mean, it's not realistic for them to enforce a curfew up in this area. Now, they said that downtown is fortified. Downtown is fortified. All right, bro, I'm on Pike, walking past, we're gonna be walking past Numos here shortly. But he said that downtown is fortified. What he said is as long as people remain peaceful, that, you know, their job is to basically follow people around today and not instigate anything or be instigated against. We'll see what happens. But I definitely think that was a good move for the sergeant over there at the East Precinct to come out and explain to us why they had a change in posture, why they put on the gas mask and everything else. Give you guys a look here at the size of the crowd. So it's a very big, this protest is growing. You guys heard me saying that about an hour ago, 2 hours ago almost, that, hey man, this protest is growing. I mean, it's all kinds of people. It's people who are originally in the protest. It's people they walk by, who just join in the protest. There's other protests that just kind of come together. And also something interesting that we saw here is that, again, they had Black Lives Matter, a few people of them were here, a few other organizations, but at the end of the day, the protesters, the mass of the protesters, were like, look, man, we're not here repping none of that. We're just here to protest, you know, or in peace or whatever, and push their message. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we see here today, is we see a lot of people. Everybody I've interviewed today is kind of here for different reasons, but one reason, you know, different reasons as in different agendas and this and that. But one reason being that, you know, they're just outraged. And, you know, when you talk about, oh, well, yeah, I'm sure there's a percentage of people who are vandals. There's a percentage of people who are looters, things like that, just like our general society. You know what I'm saying? But the overwhelming masses of the people here today, that I've witnessed here and you've witnessed along with me, I've been here in a peaceful posture. We got to hope that posture stays in place. Sunset is in about an hour and 40 minutes. Right now we're headed in a westerly direction, which is back towards downtown. We know the downtown's been fortified. Well, I spoke too soon. Looks like now we're gonna get ready to head in a southerly direction and be taking a left on Harvard Avenue. chant right now, hands up, don't shoot. Let's look behind us, even behind us. Again, sizable crowd here. Let me just clean this lens real quick. There we go. Helicopters. I think the big question for everybody is, though, is with all these hundreds of people here, where does this end tonight? You know, where does it, like, you got to talk about logistically what actually makes sense. Clearly, there's just not enough police if they wanted to say arrest people for curfew violation. I mean, look at all these people here. That's out of the picture. You know, is the idea just to tire out the protesters? Guys just keep walking until they decide to go home? Is there gonna be an order to disperse? We don't know. So right now, Capitol Hill, kind of moving towards the First Hill area as we're on Harvard Street. For you guys that's been following this stream the whole time, which I guess is a long time now, remember we were on Harvard Street earlier. Back here again. I can tell you this, if you saw any of the earlier streams, not this one, the streams earlier, downtown is highly fortified. National Guard, Homeland Security, you know, Muckleshoot Indian Tribe Police, like there's all kinds of agencies that are downtown, with the idea being that they want to stop people from coming down there and possibly looting. Now, again, thus far with this crowd, we've seen nothing but peaceful protest, you know. And I will say this, is that the organizers have actually strained to keep it that way. You know, they've gotten out front to make sure that things have been peaceful thus far. Bro, we on Harvard now. This thing's fast moving. Actually, we're on Seneca. We're on Seneca, heading up. We're heading west on Seneca right now. Whew. I appreciate it, Joshua. I'll let you know. Right now, I'm good, though. But thank you. So, one thing I want to point out, too, I mentioned this before, is this is a fast-moving protest, man. I mean, it's fast, but these guys up in front are in shape. You know what I'm saying? This has been fast-moving. Like,
you know who else marched out on quarantine? We're back here.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody who's been sitting in at home during quarantine, we're definitely back here at the end, you know. Yeah. Tack it! Tack it! Tack it! It's my guy, Anthony Tackett. What's good? How many hours you been in it today?
About 2 hours now. 2 hours? Yes, sir. Yeah, you know, 3 days, bro. I was like, this guy needs a backup. Let me come there on my camera so he can take a break. Man. Rest assured, we got it, bro. Man, it's in the house of photography. Man, what's good, man? Good to see you guys, man. It's been pretty amazing. Man, oh, are you guys handing out water? Oh, I need a water. I need a water. Thank you. God bless you. Somebody gave me a water, Bobby. But if you're still on the way, I'll definitely take one from you, too. Whew. It's good to see you out here, Tacky. You know how far they're walking up?
How far they're what, man? I've been on this for 6.3 miles now. Look at you, out of shape like me.
I spent the first hour looking for the group.
Yeah.
Like, where's everybody at?
You been out of quarantine.
The guard couldn't tell me. The police couldn't tell me. Here we are.
Right. So, again, it's about 3 hours in with this particular group. This has been one of the non-violent, peaceful protesters right here in Seattle. We did get some reports of some different protesters throwing bottles and stuff at the police, but not this group. And I mean, there's been several times where they've been face to face with the police and they've just went a different direction or they backed off. So the posture of this group that you and I have both witnessed together has been peaceful. And of course the idea is for it to stay that way as we enter later into the night. Now they're taking a left up here, heading southbound on, it's not quite Bourne, but the police are obstructing Bourne. And so again, instead of the protesters marching there to potentially confront the police, so this is Minor. So Seneca and Minor right here. Gonna head southbound on Minor Street. So I see you got the middle finger up there. Is that for anybody in particular? It's for the pigs, huh? Oh, I thought that was your number one. Clearly that's not your number one, huh? Okay. What's up, guys? Woo. Oh, shit. All right, everybody. Woo. Had that second water. Back in action here. So we're heading southbound down Minor Street. We're about a block from Madison. For you guys that know Seattle, we're about a block from Madison and a block from Swedish Hospital, the Nordstrom Clinic, the cancer clinic. That's what's right in front of us. And I mean, I'm telling you, this crowd just keeps getting thicker and, you know, more diverse. So the crowd is literally now almost 2 blocks long. So those are the horns that you hear. Those are people honking in support of the protesters. Whew. All right, looks like guys are stopping here for a second on Madison. See if I can wrap around to the front. Now again, this is 2 different protests that have actually come together. One was the one I was with, which was a non-violent one. Oh, man. Looks like they're heading back into Capitol Hill and gonna go east on Madison Street. Let's get over here. Oh, no. We got a riff here. We got some people who want to go Capitol Hill, and we got some who are ready to go downtown. Now the thing is, downtown, we know it's only one thing downtown. There go the police right there. I don't know what. Let me get this way. All right. Let me wake my way up here to the front. Sorry, excuse me. So what we have here, this is Bourne and Madison. Now I want to keep in mind that the last few times there's been, the last few times that the protesters and the police have met, it's ended without issue. You know, we just saw the latest time there at the East Precinct. All right. So this is Madison and Bourne, and the police have a barrier here. They've also got it reinforced 1 block behind. And thus far, what we have witnessed as this protests have been 100% peaceful. Every time that they've encountered the SPD, they've basically left a barrier right here. We saw this at the East Precinct as well.
You got mobile charger?
Ooh, I can give you like 5 minutes. You gotta stand right here, right over here though, next to me. You know we had a protest / riot, but I can't have you run off with my power bank. But here it is. So here it is, as to where we have. So now we have some diverging ideologies that are coming to the surface here. We got people who are talking about peaceful protests. We got other people who are just clearly saying fuck the police. But right now there's a clear boundary. I think there's more media and camera people in front of the police than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Right. Come over here to my right. So, this is, he's going to ask the police for passage.
Is it on?
He's requested to go to Western. Please don't run off of that.
So we're not going to allow anybody to do Western.
Okay. So what we saw here is
small groups return to the area.
They've asked for passage in the downtown, and what's happened here is the lieutenant has said that downtown is a, what did you call it? Downtown is a safety zone, so he's denying passage right here.
You guys have been cooperating with we're just denying any
So is your plan, Lieutenant, is you guys are just going to maintain your area right here, and as long as there's nothing that's violent and peaceful over here, then you guys don't necessarily have an issue?
Yeah, you guys have the right to demonstrate, exercise your First Amendment right, express your concerns.
Okay.
We have no issue with that at all. We're here, in fact, to support that.
Okay.
As long as there's no act of violence or property damage, we're good.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
So we good as long as we're not downtown.
Yeah. Okay. So look, my name is Omari Salisbury. Omari Salisbury. Omari Salisbury. Yeah. So they've symbolically asked now twice for passage. They've symbolically asked twice for passage. And, you know, I mean, the East Precinct, they asked for passage, and now in Madison. And, I mean, you know, being here in this city, basically, you know, most of my life and everything else, we know that, you know, they're not going to clear the path. They're not going to clear the path for the protesters. So. Thank you, Lieutenant. Hey, bro. So.
Well, any of you cross the line and kneel with us.
So he's asking them to kneel.
I want to give every officer. I mean, that's cool, but that's the message that we're hearing.
All right, so just to recap on what we saw right here, one of the event organizers came and asked to speak to the officer in charge. The lieutenant from the Seattle Police Department came out and explained to them that he can't give passage to this area because downtown is considered a secure zone. They made a similar request over at the East Precinct to pass over on 12th and Pine, and the sergeant came out and as well explained. So I think that some of this is symbolic. You know, it's a symbolic gesture like, hey, we want passage. And I mean, clearly knowing the passage isn't going to be granted. But one thing the lieutenant did acknowledge that you saw right there on the stream is this particular group we've been following now for too many hours, feet hurt and everything else. It's been a peaceful group that's avoided all kinds of conflict with the police. Now we're hearing a different story, maybe in some other areas of Seattle, and especially over the city of Bellevue, which is they have their own other issue that's going on right over there. But what we see right here on Bourne and Madison is, again, this is where this protest is stopped. The lieutenant did come out and speak to the protest organizers, gave an explanation as to why the protest can't proceed. Now, I'll let you know, this is a fairly big crowd here, because now this is both groups have come together. This crowd is grown, you know. Right. So if you want to look at this crowd here, let's go so we can hear this guy over here, huh?
Congregate anywhere else in the city, but just not downtown. We don't want to take the freeway. We're not going to take the freeway again. That was beautiful. We're not going to do it again.
No.
So now we have this choice today.
Listen up! Listen up!
The point of going to West Lake. Before I say that, the point of today was to stand together and acknowledge that Black Lives Matter. The point of today was to realize that black people are not alone. The point of today was to realize that we are stronger together. And the beautiful thing about that is we did prove.
Yeah, we did.
More people got killed here than there in the mountains.
Yeah, that's true. That brother was the one thing.
let me set the scene here. This is a Black Lives Matter member addressing the crowd. We're here on Bourne and Madison. You see the police right here. Police here. You see the police presence has grown considerably. So,
Listen up, you guys! Listen up!
And you got 600. How you get 600? God.
yeah, I mean, it's about to hit 1,000 here in a minute.
I think let's not look at it.
So now what we have going on, what we have here, we got a group now. What I told you before is there's a mix. There's a mix now. Let's get on the other side of this barrier and then turn. Now come this way now, turn around. Turn this way, there you go. because, you know, now they chanting at the police and standing up. So now the police are going to change their posture. You see what I'm saying? The police are going to change their posture. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, my bad. Yeah. So now what we got right here, exactly. So we got the protesters wanting to push people back. They're wanting to push people back. The organizers are wanting to push people back and be able to keep a barrier right here in between the protests and the police. So you see, this is the protest organizer right here. The protest organizer is asking them to create a buffer zone right here. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're seeing right here. The police right here have maintained their posture thus far. You know what I'm saying? The reason I bring that up is we saw at the East Precinct when the posture changed. Now, what we do see right here, and when we know if it's going to get funky, is we'll let you know, is what we saw here at the East Precinct, is when we're seeing more and more officers with gas masks. If the officers with the gas masks start replacing the officers with the bikes, then you know that the posture here on the front line is going to change. And right now, though, the posture has pretty much remained the same. But you see there's an officer there with the flashbang gun. There's somebody else there. You know, we've seen these for the last 3 days of what's going on. You know, and that we also see an element here now that we're seeing an element here that we haven't seen all day, which is a confrontational element. Now, nobody has done anything. They haven't thrown anything or anything like that. But we are seeing an element here of people who have some select words for the police. And that's the first time in this protest that we've kind of really seen that. So what we're seeing again is it's a few different ideologies that are coming together. And which is interesting is because when it came to marching, everybody was on one page. But I think when it comes now for acting and what are people going to do with the police right here in front of everybody, there's a lot of diverging ideologies as to what path they're going to take. Now, we'll have to see. What are you wanting the police to do? You want them to walk with you? Okay. You want them to walk with you? Okay. Right. So now, I mean, like I said, you're seeing an outpouring of, I would say, emotion, for lack of a better word here. You know, this is now my fourth hour on this particular protest right here. And to this point, like I said, it's been a peaceful protest. But one thing to point out is the protest that we were with at the East Precinct mixed with another protest that was passing by. So you actually have two different groups of people here. Now, this area has been highly reinforced all the way back further west on Madison Street, right? So,
I have a question for you.
This young lady is addressing the officers here.
I have a question for you holding this line. How many of you have wives and children at home? How many of you have families at home waiting for you to get home? Just like you have families waiting for you to get home. We don't want any violence. Black Lives Matter doesn't want any violence. Black Lives Matter.
So what she's saying to the police is Black Lives Matter does not want any violence. You have other people encouraging officers to take a knee.
Take a knee with us. Take a knee with us. Stand with your brothers and sisters. community. Kneel with us, folks. Kneel with us. Be peaceful and kneel with us. Take a knee with us. Take a knee with us. Take a knee with us.
So.
Hey, we can't ask, hey, we can't ask them to take a knee if we're not taking the fucking knee.
That's a good point. So now, they're making.
But that's the point. It's social respect. You need you guys to do it too. That's the whole point, right? Otherwise, you don't play.
So, again, for people who just joined this stream, this has been about 4 hours now deep into this march. We caught up with this group of protesters downtown on 4th and about Union Street. At the time, though, it was some flashbangs and tear gas going on at the time. Since then, though, and it was several different, that group fractured into several different groups. And I've been following this group now for for a minute, however long this stream is now. And to this point, we've seen this protest be peaceful. They have encountered the police, or the police have encountered the protesters several times over the last few hours. And every time they've encountered the police, they've just turned a different direction. Now, they did go to the East Precinct, and they were at the East Precinct. They asked for passage on Pine Street at the East Precinct. The sergeant at the East Precinct came out, or the lieutenant now, or at the East Precinct came out, nice guy, and he told him this, like, man, I'm not gonna give you passage. The protesters encountered the police here on Madison and Bourne and requested to speak with the lieutenant. The lieutenant came out. They asked to pass here on Madison. He said, where are you going? They said, we want to go to Westlake. The lieutenant said that because of that, that downtown is a safety zone. Let's go down here, bro. We see this lieutenant is over here pointing into the crowd. What's up, fam?
Stop acting. Take a knee. That's a no-go here, see. That's a no-go. No-go vote.
What are you trying to say, bro? I got about 1,000 people on this stream.
Okay?
Right.
The police is supposed to protect and serve, number one.
Okay.
Number two, they're supposed to get rid of the bad cop. That's number two.
Right.
Colonel Pierce tried to get him out, but whoever backed him probably was white. Straight up. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So now, you're supposed to protect and serve, number one. You done forgot that, and now you turn to number three, which is killing. And that's not right. Now you feel you're better than somebody because you have a sergeant badge and all of that. I don't believe that. Our taxes pay for them. And the mayor knows that, and everybody should know our taxes pay for them. They should really be nice to us.
What do you want to see happen today?
I don't want to see that happen except I feel like them.
Okay. That's important for people to know.
The only thing that's happening is them trying to block us off and lead us on a way where we could go. And they think they have it all covered, but they don't. That's the only thing that's happening. They got guys running around here with weapons, people wheeling weapons around. That's the violent people.
So you came here in a peaceful posture, but to get your voice heard.
I came to raise my voice because in a peaceful posture probably doesn't work.
Okay. All right.
They think it's crazy.
You from Seattle? You from here?
From Jamaica.
From Jamaica.
So the deal is this. Protect us and we'll respect you. If you don't, why should we?
There it is.
I mean, that's no problem. They're all in the same boat. The one bad cop fucked it up, and I'm mad about that. I love cops. You know, I don't want to hate them all. But the bad ones, you're gonna hate them, man. That's fucking fact.
Right.
Period.
Right. So as you can see here, you know, it's a lot of emotion. You know, now it's the hands up, don't shoot. The presence here keeps building. We keep seeing more police reinforcements back there. They want to push the barrier back and give some space here in between the protesters and the officers. you know, oddly enough, after covering these protests for 3 days, to be honest with you, the majority of the protesters and the majority of the cops are just like, man, hey, you know what I'm saying? They have an honest opinion.
Listen. We need to make sure that we are staying 5 feet from them at all times. If we're 5 feet, they won't tear gas us. If we're 5 feet, they won't mace us. What's the mayor? 5 feet back. What's the mayor?
So they're implementing their own barrier here. You know, I mean, over the last few days, we've seen everything from people a few inches from the police all the way to 10-foot barriers. You know what I'm saying?
We are ready to die for our justice, man. We are tired of this shit.
Children did not come out here to die today. Not today.
And what's your message now? Now you've been on this peace thing now. I've been checking out for about 4 hours. For the whole time, your message has constantly been peace for people who are out here, right?
That's all I'm going to give. All I'm going to give you, because I refuse to be exactly what they think we are.
Okay.
All I will give you is peace. It doesn't matter how strong our message is. We have power in numbers. There will always be more of us than there is of them. And just like V for Vendetta said, all they have is bullets.
Can we scoot back? The further we are.
Yeah, I got you. I appreciate that, man. You know, I think it's important for people to hear that there's people who have a message of peace out here.
I've been over the water. I see what it's like over there. It's going to turn into that here.
Fuck the police!
And then in the same breath, like I said, you've got people who are basically saying F the police. So you see that there's a lot of emotion on both sides of, and not even on both sides. You got some people who are like, we want peace. We got this gentleman right here who's got his sign. It's just like, you know, fuck the police. So, you know, and you know, this is his message today. This is his message today. And like I said, we just talked to less than a few feet away this gentleman whose whole message is peace and understanding. So we see quite a mix of different. We see a mix of different, differing overall ideologies. But everybody, no matter where they stand, has come here to be able to voice their opinion, to let people know that, man, clearly they're unhappy. You know. And, you know, my understanding and seeing our reports here throughout the day is the city of Bellevue is getting hammered, which is also crazy because we saw the city of Bellevue had their SWAT and their personnel carriers over here earlier, and it looks like Bell Square, there was no officers that are there, and the mayor of Bellevue has called a state of emergency over there and is also asking for the National Guard to be deployed in the city of Bellevue. So, I mean, there's a lot of dynamics at play here. These protests have caused the city of Seattle to pull in law enforcement reinforcement from all these other agencies, including, you see the Muckleshoot Tribal Police is out here, Newcastle Police, Maple Valley Police. These are all police resources that are now in Seattle and really have left these other cities open. So Bellevue, I'm sure they're going to have a lot to answer for over there, especially if their SWAT and their officers and everything was over here.
Don't shoot! 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 Don't shoot!
We're here in Seattle, Washington. As the people who joined the live stream, we're here in Seattle, Washington. We're in an area called First Hill. This is where this protest now, we've been following this protest for several hours. This is where it's now culminating. And it looks like they're asking people to take some steps back to be able to create more of a barrier here. And like I said, man, as much tear gas and pepper gas as we've eaten trying to cover this story the last 3 days, we definitely don't want to see more tear gas deployed out here. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're seeing right here. And I mean, and to keep it honest, in an honest perspective here, this has been a very peaceful protest. Like, we've been on this protest now, like I said, for almost 5.6 miles all across Seattle. I'm much too fat. This is the biggest workout that I've gotten in a long time. You know what I'm saying? But wanting to be able to honestly be able to show people that the posture of this protest has been peaceful, and if we don't live stream that, if we don't show it here directly, then, you know, it leaves the narrative open for other things. I mean, and also on the flip side of that, you know what I'm saying, there's two sides of everything. The encounters with the Seattle police today have also, they've been peaceful. We've heard, you know, people say the Seattle police have instigated this, that, or that. We haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? We're at the East Precinct. The lieutenant there came out, and also a sergeant came out and talked to everybody. We're here on Madison and Bourne. The lieutenant came and spoke to the protest leaders. So, you know what I'm saying? We've got peace on both sides of this divide right here. I think the idea is to be able to keep it like that through the evening. I think one thing that we need to remember, though, is one, clearly there's a curfew that I think that it would be an unfair task for the mayor to have the police enforce the curfew when you've got thousands and thousands of people out. So that ultimately there has to be a resolution, whether the resolution is a waiting game and everybody sits here throughout the night. We actually have video from Friday at the protest Domino's delivered. So here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, so we're going to see the posture change right here. Everybody who's in front without a gas mask is going to be replaced. They're getting ready to tap everybody on the shoulder who doesn't have a gas mask, and they're going to tap them out here. SPD, it looks like they're going to change their posture. We're hoping that the posture doesn't change here. We're hoping that people can just keep a barrier here. Sorry, fam. They're changing their posture. Okay. So the police are saying that they're violating the curfew. So now this is they're putting the police, I'll be honest with you, if their whole point here is for the police to enforce the curfew, the city has put the police in a bad position. That's not a fair position for the police. There's close to 600-700 people here. How can you enforce the curfew? All they could do is flashbang and drive people further out, but that's not enforcing the curfew. That's just spreading people out. Now, what we see here is if we see the bicycle cops get tapped, and they get tapped, and they're replaced by somebody with a gas mask, that's a sheer sign right there that the posture of the Seattle Police Department is going to change. We saw yesterday that a lot of police officers got caught up in tear gas with the journalists because, you know, there wasn't coordination with the officers who were deploying the gas and the other officers. And so now we see there's more and more officers with the gas mask that are coming in. Also in the secondary, there's officers with the gas mask right there. Now,
Can I ask you a question?
well, I think the bigger issue here, because yeah, and also you guys dispersing, and I'm just calling this out as a member of the media, not as a protester. You guys dispersing people and people leaving and going home is two different things. So there has to be a game plan here, because you guys just doing flashbangs. If they haven't gone home, wherever they go, they're still in violation of the curfew. And it looks like it's going to turn into a cat and mouse game. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a real thing. Just clearing this block doesn't enforce the curfew. It just drove people off of this block. There has to be, like, what's the big picture plan that the police, that the lieutenant over here is saying of what people should do? You know, if they clear this block with flashbangs, then you just got 700 people on the next block. They're still violating curfew. I honestly think the mayor has put you guys in a bad position out here for having to enforce a curfew with people here. You know what I'm saying? And if they're calling, maybe it looks bad on TV and they're wanting to do something right now. If you guys got peaceful protesters right here, you guys need to come. Make sure there's a distance between. Tell them to order some Domino's and sing Kumbaya until people go home. But you know what I'm saying? If you guys are going to escalate this based on a curfew, and when people aren't going to go home, that's not a wise decision.
All right.
What's the story?
Hey, listen up. Listen up. I just talked to the officers in charge. Okay? I just talked to the officers in charge.
Where's your megaphone?
Take a knee and listen. Take a knee and listen, real quick. So they can hear.
Hey, you need to figure out I got a boom mic.
Please take a knee for 1 second.
What's up?
Let me tell you what I just heard. Please take a knee so that the people in the back can hear me.
Come over here.
Where's that megaphone? I fucking need it.
Hey, yell it.
Listen.
We got the mic.
Listen up.
So what we see now is that a lot of people have left.
It's voluntary.
So it's a voluntary curfew, huh?
And I just talked to the officer. I had him on live video. He said it to my fucking camera. As long as we stay where we are, and we stay peaceful, and we protest like we
See, well, it sounds like that's the same thing I just said. Have these guys order some pizza and chill out, you know, and sit it out all night and tire people out. That's what I said. It's unfair to the police and everybody else to enforce a curfew. Not today.
And we can march another direction, or we can stand here and
I don't know who the fuck she is. She ain't started with me.
So now, let me tell you, something else has occurred because a lot of the police that were behind this group right here are now gone. And what's happened is a big part of the protesters have gone. They've gone down the street, and now you got another one that's over there.
okay? Now listen. Listen. I have to get that
So now we've got two different points of leadership here. We've got one that's pushing peace, and we've got one that's pushing... Yeah. There's two different ideologies that are now surfacing out here. And this is all rolling itself out here in real time. We've got two different ideologies here at the same time. And I think that a lot of people here... So looks like we got a few different elements actually here in this particular crowd. Now,
I don't know what these women talk about, but nigga, we out here marching all fucking day. I don't know what the fuck. Kneel down for what?
Ain't taking no kneels, nigga.
So now what we see here is, like I said, it's a mix of two different ideologies that are coming together.
Talk about violence. No one out here been talking about violence with you.
There's no reason to get aggressive.
Nigga, we all been peaceful. We gon' keep being peaceful. Right. Ain't nobody been talking about this.
We're changing this structure. This is not Black Lives Matter. Black lives do matter, but all lives matter. This is not Black Lives Matter movement.
Whoa! What happened? What happened? What happened? Here we go. All right. So, okay. It's all right. It's all right. Everybody calm down. Calm down. Look. Calm down. Hold on. Let's bring it down. 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 Everybody calm down. Somebody threw a projectile at the police. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down.
We just brought the flag to the front. We changed the conditions of the people who were clearly paid, and it automatically turned into a new system. Now, once we shifted the power from kneel and put your hands up in Black Lives, it changed automatically. They're now changing their mode on the basis of paid people. There's something else happening. You need to be aware of it. No, look.
My phone's gonna die.
Look at this. Look, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It is our kids. It is our kids.
Yeah, actually, it is our kids. Real shit. My son was out here last night. My son was out here last night with me. But for you guys that have been following me as well, for you guys that have been following me, Little O's at home today, man. He didn't come out here with me today. You know.
I'm black. My dreads is fucking long. We've been kneeling. We gotta kneel out here. You wanna kneel?
So now, this is indicative of what we see. Now, all these people, the ideology is differing. Black Lives Matter, some peaceful guys, this and that. But everybody has been peaceful. But what we see now is it's one or two people out here. These guys have been protesting peacefully with different ideologies for 4 hours. Now, we saw somebody throw some kind of projectile over here to the officers. And I'll be honest with you.
You saw how ready they were to take out this.
I already told the lady that's trying to get the voice right now to get the,
I think, right.
We don't want that. We don't want that, folks.
Hey, bro. So, I mean, you were saying when she was over there saying it was like, you know, take a knee and all that, and you seem to have a different ideology.
And you saw what happened with Kaepernick. You saw it.
Right.
Kneel, nothing happened. They still out here doing the same shit. Talking about kneel, that's cool. We can kneel. It's real peaceful. But us standing is peaceful too. What they scared of? We out here. We've been out here all fucking day.
Right.
We ain't did shit. The people who fucked shit up yesterday, man, that was them, man. Come on. You can't blame everybody. Just like they telling us not to blame all the bad cops and mix them with the good cops. Why we get that treatment? Why? Because we black, color of my skin, don't give a fuck. Some of them might. It's true, some of them might. I was in the county, some of them niggas was cool. You feel me? Some of them was cool. But not all of them. You hear me? Not all of them. They ain't all cool.
So you're not out here. You're not out here preaching violence, but you are out here saying that you're fed up.
I'm fed up. What else we done did? We done did violence. We done did peacefulness. Nothing's working, but we still out here being peaceful.
Please
Why?
lift your
Because
arms.
that's the best thing.
Stand strong and lift your
Stop
arms.
talking over me. That's the best thing to be. It's peaceful. That's all we trying to be. You feel me? We don't want nothing else to happen but another black man to not die of arms to these cops.
Right.
I'm tired of that. But hey, but what can we do?
Right.
Stay here and be peaceful. Exactly what we've been doing this whole time.
Right.
Whoever we keep saying, hey, we ain't peaceful, we've been peaceful, and they can attest to that.
Right.
They can attest to that. We ain't getting nothing all day. We set no cars on fire. We ain't getting nothing like that. We ain't bashed no windows. I've been watching everybody. Everybody been marching peacefully. There's been hundreds of us out here. They watching us from the sky. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. The whole time the mayor's watching us. She knows what's going on. And if she's watching this, man, you better know you should be out here marching with us. I don't know why you're sitting at home or in your office doing whatever you're doing, but you need to be out here with us. Everybody need to be out here with us. I don't care who you are. You feel me? Hey, man, all them racist people, hey, man, you need to bring your ass out here, too, and march with us. I don't give a fuck, nigga. You need to get that shit out your motherfucking system. That shit ain't cool. That shit's a mental illness. You hear me? Oh, God.
Racism is a mental illness.
Stay strong.
All right.
We're going to stay peaceful.
So again, we've got a few different divergent ideologies out here today. But one thing I think everybody agrees upon is a peaceful outcome. You know, like I said, there's people from Black Lives Matter. There's self-leaders. You know what I'm saying? People are just, out here on their own thing. But I mean, the message thus far has basically been one of peace. Like I said, it is my third day on covering these protests here in the city of Seattle. And I'll be honest with you, it took 2 days for Seattle police to kind of, catch up with all of this. I was there at 1 a.m. on Friday night when the Bank of America on Jackson got kicked in, Washington Federal Credit Union, and the whole international district got tore up. And we actually walked with a group of these anarchists for 45 minutes through downtown on Friday as they vandalized, and there was no police presence. And, yesterday we saw what happened downtown with the cars on fire and the looting and everything else. Today, there's considerable reinforcement here in Seattle. But one of the downsides of that is that the east side, Bellevue, Kirkland, they're experiencing rioting and looting over there, and their law enforcement is stretched thin on that side. They're stretched thin over there. So, you know, the situation in Seattle might be better, but it's opened the door for a situation on the east side in Bellevue. We're right here again on Madison and Boren. We've got a protest here. It's thinned out, which also means
That's not going to happen right now. The longer we stand here, the more likely they are removed, like they did yesterday. So yesterday, what worked was 5 feet, and they switched back, and then we took a feet, and then 5 feet, and then they moved back.
Nothing. They just started to flashbang.
I was there. I was there.
And no one was doing anything.
I was there. I understand. But like I said, I was on multiple streets yesterday, and I saw both peaceful and non-peaceful sides of it. And when it was peaceful, the crowd stayed 5 feet away. So I'm just trying to make sure that we get to get our message across, and also get to go home tonight not in pain. Okay?
And we've been in pain. Remember that.
And we've already been in pain, so we don't need to feel no more pain. We've been in pain. We've been in pain for centuries, you guys. We've been in pain for too long.
R.I.P. Eugene Nelson.
Okay?
Sean Furr.
We don't need any more
names,
pain.
officers.
We don't need any more.
All people I knew personally.
So we're gonna stay 5 feet back, and we're gonna keep that pain.
You know John Williams?
Yes, sir. A native.
Yeah, the Native American got shot down there, right down there.
I was about 14 years old when it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a wood carving. He had a wood carving
He
tool.
looks like him. I checked. That's not him.
Did it say Jay Campbell?
No, it's not him. I checked. I've been on that too. Believe me. I've been putting it all over my. It's not. I checked. Believe me. I checked. I was already on it too. I thought that was him also.
Rock for what?
Gene Nelson.
We're gonna stay calm.
Y'all shot him in the back. You shot him in the back.
If you don't want to die, buck up.
Shot him with his baby daughter in his hand.
Go there, right there. Fuck no.
Shot his baby daughter in his hand.
So
when I knew
That's why he came out.
I said this march is or protest has come to a halt right here on Boren and Madison. But also, one thing that's happened because of this, though, is that the protest split again. Remember, I told you guys that the protest at one point, several hundreds of people, they all met up right outside the East Precinct and left the East Precinct and ended up here. Now, you had a group that maybe wanted to, who's still here, that wanted to send a message and take a knee and things like that. And you got a lot of people, hundreds of people, who have now continued on different routes across the city. So,
Black Lives Matter! 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 George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd!
this is the barrier right here, basically, in between these officers that are spread across. They were spread across Madison Street. So they.
Black Lives Matter!
Again, we've got divergent ideologies over here.
They want us separated. So guess what? I know. Listen, they want us to fight. They want us to fight each other. One message. One message.
How long you been with the Seattle Police?
I can't even yell at you.
How long you been with the Seattle police?
About being
15 years?
in their faces. We want them to see us, and we want to stay right here. We want this to continue to be peaceful.
What happened to that officer? What happened to him? He left the police. Did they let him go or did he leave?
Why won't you guys kneel down with us?
I don't think they let. I remember paid leave for him.
Why would they do that? I'm just curious.
What do you think? You didn't get charged with it. I know that.
They know y'all still got their back.
You didn't get charged with it.
We would have your back if y'all had our back. Y'all have my back, I'll have your back. That's like close, you know? You got me, I got you.
So you can say
I remember John T. Williams about 20 feet away when they shot him.
I'm not saying that.
Wasn't running at him with the knife or
Look,
anything.
exactly. I'm telling you this for innocent, and he's telling you right now, he's gonna do that shit. I'm not.
It's good. We're here peacefully as long as
But you gotta acknowledge that the conditions of us being out here is not new. This is new to you. This is new to y'all.
You all
This
shoot
ain't
someone with a
new.
knife for 20 feet
You gotta
away
be
every
aware of the
time.
circumstances.
There's a circumstance.
That's why you think I'm
So this is
You gotta be aware of the circumstances.
this protest right here on Boren and Madison. And again, it's a lot of emotion out here, but for the most part, it has stayed peaceful. That might be an encouraging sign right there. We see officers removing their gas masks on the cruiser. Okay. This is where they're gonna have a problem. You know, I mean, how you guys gonna enforce that? You know what I'm saying? I think it's.
As long as you guys are.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Right. And I'm a media member, but I get what you're saying when you say you guys. But yeah, I mean. From the Central District of Seattle, 29th and Jackson. Where you from? Okay, but you know, you hit me with that. Yada, where you from? Hold up, let me tell you. You know it's CD. You know where CB over here. Yada, Nah, so I work with Converge Media, so I do a lot of stuff with them in Africa Town and a few other outlets. So Africa Town, yeah, I'm there. So I see you out here. My next, why are you out here today?
I'm out here for my brothers. I'm out here for my nieces, my nephews, sisters, my mom, my dad, grandma, aunties, uncles, all that. All my family members, all my friends, everybody. I'm out here for the people that can't be here today. That's who I'm here for. I'm for everybody that died for me. That's who I'm here for.
And what do you want these officers or people out there to know?
I want them to kneel with us. That's what I want. I want them to feel how we feel. That don't even got to do with pain. You just can walk with us, though. You can agree with us.
Right.
You can feel us.
Right.
You guys got Tacoma PD out here doing that. But y'all can't. Seattle PD.
Right.
Seattle PD can't do it. That's crazy.
Right.
That's wild.
Let's see.
That's wild as hell. That's crazy.
So, what we're seeing right here, and like I said, getting on this thing, is that, you know, there's a messaging. Okay, I see. That was the top of the hour as well. There's messaging here where it's like, hey, you know, there's a curfew in place, please disperse. But also, the lieutenant came out here and said, like, man, if you guys just keep it peaceful. And so, and I think that's kind of like, you know, where it's at.
It's a morning band.
Oh, okay, good. Since you're answering, you're talking. Why won't you march with us, though? Because we...
Is that what? That's
why.
okay.
With the rest of y'all.
Some of us haven't bought that certified our own money. That's why you see some with the tape and some without.
So I think this is a good explanation. This is right. So I think this is a good explanation because one thing as media that we've been hearing is that SPD has been covering the badge numbers. And what I hear you saying is that
COVID, we have to have the funerals, so until that point, they stay off.
Okay, and one more thing here real quick. And on your badge here, there is a number that's visible. the number is down there on the bottom. So the piece of tape that's on your
But that's
badge.
not a standard badge.
That's a
Right,
special
you have a
that she
special
just bought.
badge that you said that you bought, but
And then that money goes to...
But I just wanted to show that you're not hiding a number. Your number on this particular badge model is visible. And what you're saying on the other badges, to put the tape across it,
It's because that's
right.
the standard badge.
It's the standard badge. Okay.
Some people try and put it higher. It's just a matter, you know.
So, you know, that's one of the
All
things
right,
I
that's
feel
good.
People use like the elastic band.
Right.
But right in the middle of the badge, it goes in. So it slides
I feel like
down.
Is there any reason? I mean, you probably don't know this, but is there any reason the mayor's office was asked a lot of that? That was like a complaint. The police are covering their badge numbers, and you've explained this in less than 1 minute better than it's been explained. Right. I know you can't get on political stuff, but I'm just letting you know it's a good explanation.
But y'all are supposed to protect us. We're right here. Why are you over there? You work for us. Stop saying that. You just you said Seattle PD can't do that. Why can't you do that? If you agree with me, why can't you march with me? I get it. But if we're all marching together,
If y'all figured a little issue like that out, I feel like the anger would go down a whole notch. You know what I'm saying? It's little things like that. You guys take us into account, take in what the people want a little bit. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm giving you some advice, you know what I'm saying, to take back to your people.
I ain't never heard of protests with 65 days out of the year. There's no protests. That must be a weekend. No, you literally said 300 out of 365 days.
I'm going to detach here for a second now. Sorry.
There's only 365 days.
Because a lot of these people feel like y'all don't listen to us.
No, you hold this. I'm coming back for this, huh?
For sure.
I'm just going right here. Yeah. Well, just step over here and kind of update everybody. It's been a long day. All right. So, sorry about that, bro. So basically, want to take a second here and change the vantage point. Man, it gets heated over there in the middle. But you've got what we've got here again. Madison and Bourne Street. This protest here is ground to a halt. I would kind of think that anybody that's heading west into the city, they're probably they're running into SPD similarly like this. You know what I'm saying? They've definitely tried to fortify downtown. It was crazy as I live downtown, 1 block from the downtown precinct. I don't know if I'm gonna make it back into downtown. What they're doing with that, because it's locked down tight here at the movement. And so we've got, I mean, one of the big things that we keep hearing guys say is they're trying to encourage the officers to take a knee with them or to kneel with them. I mean, you know, I'm just a realist. You know, as a journalist, I really don't see that happening. But, you know, I mean, it's a good gesture. You got to ask. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing here. I mean, this being a peaceful protest and people looking for a peaceful resolution, we saw 1 bottle or a projectile, whatever it was, thrown a little while ago. We've also got the lieutenant who's over there. That's the lieutenant right there who has asked, I mean, basically he said if people stay peaceful, he doesn't have a problem. But they're also telling people that they're violating the curfew.
No justice, no peace.
And
no justice, no peace. No justice, no
they're
peace.
saying that they're violating the curfew. So, you know, and they want people to leave.
No peace, no justice, no peace.
So we'll go down over here. So just wanted to give a vantage point there. So a lot of people, this particular protest has thinned out quite a bit since we've been over here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, SPD is kind of chilled out. We see a lot of gas masks that have been removed. Bobby Stills in the business, the waterman. Hey, so B Stills is the best. He's the only guy I can hit on the live stream. Listen, you see this, it's 1.3 thousand people over here right now. Man, thanks, Bobby. And so he came to bring me water, and now he's giving everybody else water, man. You know what I'm saying? Good looking out, B Stills. You're a good guy, man. You know what I'm saying? You guys, if you've been following me, I think even the stream's been going for quite a few hours, man. I've been marched with these guys, walked with them for now, like over 6 miles. I see an era of kind of, the posture looks a bit like of de-escalation over here. We see where some officers had gas masks on before. Those officers no longer have gas masks on. We see that the police force is thinned out. I would say, to be honest with you, that there's something funky going down somewhere else. Where's it at? Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, we've been hearing now Bellevue, yeah, Bell Square, everything. Bellevue's crazy. They had all their police over here. Their resources were here. So, I mean, hopefully things are thinned out because things are quiet and everything else. But they're thinning down the presence here. Like I said, it very well could be because there's another hotspot somewhere else. We see the gas masks are coming off. We see a lot of the presence is thinned out. And if these bikes keep going, the bikes went downtown. Okay. What's going on? What'd they say?
We're marching back downtown. They're gonna let us march.
They're gonna let them march. This is breaking news. This is, hey, man, big shout out my man B Stills, you know what I'm saying, over here saving the day. Man, he done brought me a few waters now. You know, we're out here parched, you know what I'm saying, and keeping it good. You still need to come by the studio though, man. All right, brother. So.
Hey, they're giving us 4 minutes and we going to Westlake. They gonna let us go up this street.
So, what's interesting here, what's very interesting here, is that it appears that the SPD is going to allow passage. Now, it isn't often that I eat my words. Less than 2 minutes ago, I said, yeah, I doubt the SPD is going to allow these guys to move. You know what I'm saying? So, this is actually pretty incredible what we're witnessing right here. This is something I never thought.
Warren to Pine to Westlake, right?
Warren to Pine to Westlake. This is something I never thought that I would see right here, especially today. It appears that SPD has made a decision here to let the peaceful protesters return downtown. I was just saying, I didn't even know how I would get back. Look at it. So this is.
By default, we're riding with you.
Yeah, look at it. He said by default. He said, this is a lot of the posture that we've seen today. Is we've seen kind of the protesters being jestful on kind of the officers as well. Now, this is, like I said, I didn't expect to see this. This is something. This is something that I didn't expect. Is that the officers are moving back. The officers are moving back. The officers are moving back, and they're allowing the protesters to go. Now, I'll be honest with you, this right here, totally unexpected. Totally unexpected. This protest is back underway. They're heading to Westlake. This is something, didn't expect to see it. Like I said, this protest had came to a halt. The protest leaders negotiated with SPD, and now the protest is back underway, with the final destination being Westlake. I think that a reason behind this is that these police resources are needed somewhere else. The police resources are definitely needed somewhere else. And I think the police made a decision that they could keep their resources tied up into what has been a peaceful protest, or they could deploy those resources elsewhere. So again, this is a big change of events. You heard me right here. I got to stop making predictions. You heard me. I said, man, they asked the police for passage. And of course, the police initially said no. But what we see is the police made a reversal. They've allowed passage of this group of protesters. So, well, yeah, that's my man. I was looking for you too. You know it's a peaceful protest because my man who I gave my brick, my battery pack to, he came and found me. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. So, all I can say is, first of all, I'm glad we're walking downhill again, because we've walked uphill so many times today in covering this protest. It's heading back down to Westlake. Good for me. I live in that part of town, but I'm just hopeful that when guys reach Westlake, that things remain peaceful. And like I said, I've been with this group now for hours going on. By the time we get downtown, it'll be almost 7 miles, and it's been 100% a peaceful protest, you know. I hear you, Teach. We definitely want things to remain peaceful. And, you know, I mean, this is a bit risky, what's going on right now. Is that, you know, Seattle police have opened for this particular group of protesters the route to Westlake. And we know that Westlake has been a flashpoint for protests. But we'll see. They're cheering as people cheer outside their windows as the protesters walk down Bourne Street. They're gonna go all the way down to Bourne, and they're gonna take a left on Pine, which will then put them at Westlake. So I'm not sure what else might be going on in downtown, and it could just been a decision by SPD to release those resources. Every time that there's protests, there's quite a few, and they stop the protesters. There's quite a few officers that are tied up right there. So I don't know if it was a decision because it was peaceful that they wanted to go and put those resources somewhere else. But this is what's occurred. So guys are heading back into downtown. Why is this a big deal? Why is this a story right now? It's because we saw that downtown Seattle is considered a safety zone. And right now, downtown Seattle is under curfew. Downtown Seattle, as we reported earlier, showed you guys, has National Guardsmen on a lot of the corners. And so for protest and protesters to be allowed back into downtown Seattle is interesting in itself. It's like a bit of confusion down here as to which direction guys are going. So it looks like they're going to take Pike. Taking Pike instead of Pine. I think there's... So for you guys that might be watching this stream and you're not from Seattle and everything else, what's going on right here? Why this is kind of a big deal. Seattle got tore up last night by an anarchy movement and some other people. And basically, I mean, they've declared a curfew. They brought in the National Guard and a few other things, and nobody is supposed to be allowed that back downtown. Now, these protesters, SPD has allowed them back downtown into Westlake, and that's why it's a big deal. Hey, bro, big as I am, we're going to have to make our way up to the front one stride at a time, okay? So we hear the hands up, don't shoot chant.
3 days straight.
Yeah.
Love it.
This 3
I love it.
3 days. Man, it has been 3 days straight, huh? I remember I was down in International District on Friday.
I'm trying to figure out if we out here tomorrow. I heard there's something in Tacoma tomorrow too.
I'm not sure.
I got a whole list of them.
Of protests, huh?
Yeah.
So tomorrow, for you guys that are on my stream, man, the thing about this live is, man, it's hard to put in text and stuff. But anyways, so for you guys that might not know, we have the Puget Sound's only Black News TV show. You know what I'm saying? From streams from 11 to 12. Every Monday through Friday, and we cover a lot of topics that are relevant to people right here in Seattle, Pacific Northwest, but also national news as well. So if you've liked this coverage that you've seen for the last 3 days, you know, would invite you to, man, check us out tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can, the easiest thing I could do is just put the link to the stream right here on my Facebook page. So you know what I'm saying, you check back in 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But also you can follow Converge Media. You'll see that's in my Facebook bio. You can also follow Africatown Central District. But yeah, check us out every Monday through Friday, 11 to 12. Me and my co-host Trey on Holiday bringing you all the news and information. So again, now this is the reason why this is a big deal is no protests were allowed basically in downtown Seattle today, right? And what's occurred is that the officers, for reasons best known to them, cleared where they were at. They cleared out of their position and have let this group of protesters, which have been peaceful. I mean, we've been following them with the camera, all of us, me and you. We've been following them now for hours, and it's been peaceful. But the reason why this is a big deal is they're now going back into downtown Seattle, and this is an area they got tore up last night. You know, somewhat Friday night as well, but I mean, the intensity of it last night was crazy. This is the Paramount Theater. A lot of you guys might recognize the Paramount. Right. Oh, okay. I missed you, Max. Look, what's happening? Right. So. So we're just a few blocks from Westlake. You can see, I don't know how well you guys can see right here, but you can see the Macy's sign. Pacific Place is is 1 block up. Now the thing is again, it comes down to end game, right? Because ultimately these people have to go home. And whether they went home from Capitol Hill or whether they go home from Westlake, they got to go home. And I think that's what's going to probably be interesting here. And maybe because it's been a peaceful protest and they feel they get everybody in one place and they just wait it out. We shall see. Damn. It says Snohomish County residents have 200 plus armed citizens lining their streets protecting businesses. So this is some of the damage. So you guys that were on the stream earlier this morning, you saw that there was a lot of people who came out to clean up graffiti and also to board up buildings and things like that and sweep the streets. So as we pass back into downtown, I'll point some of that out to you. We'll go from there. So I'll be honest with you, now it brings a sense of everybody kind of being on edge because, you know, this was a social contract that was just kind of put together with the SPD. They're like, well, you guys have been peaceful, so we're going to allow you back to Westlake. And so now there's a sense of nervousness because one person could blow the whole deal. They are tailgating in pickups in Snohomish. Wow. Yeah, that sounds like Snohomish though. So it's Pacific Place. Dang. Did Ryder replace their windows? No, they would have put wood over it if they replaced it. And it came out of it all right. Oh, I need that cable. How much storage you got?
Shit, I'm good. Whenever you
know good?
Whenever you want to take it back, bro. I'm just trying to get every moment I can.
Nah, I got you. Well, we'll do this. We down here together. Man, you can't. That's the thing about the live is you can't put no other information in or nothing.
Exactly. It's tough. I can't even answer phone calls.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Man, so hold on. Here it is. Maybe I can text you from my phone. I don't know how this stuff works, man.
I do got this other phone I'll be taking the camera angles with.
Yeah, just put a note in there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so this is the crowd reaching Westlake. Cause we're back downtown. Yeah, they're actually running into Westlake.
I have to keep up, man, if you can.
Shit, I can't keep up. That's why I'm back here. This is the time I wish my son was here. This is 6th and Pine. You see everything's boarded up out here. Nordstrom's boarded back up. Eileen Fisher got hit hard. I mean, all the windows in Eileen Fisher, the Toomey store, the Gap, Old Navy. You see this? So I don't know if this is this lieutenant's decision. I don't know who made the decision to allow the protesters back into downtown, but they're back in Westlake. Whew. This has been Also, we don't see any National Guard on the street down here. We don't see any National Guard yet on the street down here in Seattle. The reason why I bring this up is the National Guard, when we left downtown, the National Guard was here. Yep, no, I got you. The National Guard was here. And they're not. So I know that the mayor over in Bellevue requested the guard. I saved it in my phone. It's So the thing is, if you need some more charge, you just come find me. I'll be right here. I'll be here the whole night, okay?
Thank you, man.
No, it's all good, man. I know you're trying to tell your story like I'm trying to tell mine. So, you know, it's all gravy. So, whew, believe it or not, 5 hours ago, this is where this stream started. 5 hours ago. So we're back at Westlake. And the reason why this is a big deal, like I said, is there was supposed to be no more protests in downtown Seattle, at least not like this. But they're here. So it would be interesting to know, like I said, I see absolutely no National Guard in downtown Seattle. There's no National Guard. Where are they at?
Over there, regarding
Abercrombie and Fitch.
His phone out and he's like recording.
Okay, so National Guard is here, but they're just down over there. Okay. All right. So more protesters come in. Yeah, Max. Boy, me and you both need to get on this workout, man. we'll both be fit by the end of summer. So, yeah, it's definitely remained peaceful, Adam. And, you know, it's back downtown. It's in Westlake. Yeah, it's been... So basically, there's Hey man, stay focused. So, okay, what you see right now is SPD is moving on a group, not this group. And what they've told, what the protest leaders now have told people, stay here. Stay focused. Stay focused. And so we'll see what happens. But, I mean, as to be expected, it's getting funky down here in certain pockets. Like I said, we didn't see the National Guard on around Westlake, but they told me that the Guard is down here. They're over by Abercrombie and Finch. We see the police now running towards something. No. So now we see people self-policing. So this is interesting here. You got some people who want to run across, and we see a barrier of people here that are actually self-policing over here, and they're pushing people back. You see what I'm saying? They're pushing people back. You have some people who want to run down, and the protest organizers, the protest organizers now,
I'm looking around.
The protest organizers are now pushing people back, and that's what we've seen for the last 4 hours, believe it or not, with these protesters. This is what we've seen, and so now they're pushing people, and now we got the National Guard. There you go. And now with a chant of come back, they're bringing people back into what we're seeing right here. Is like I said, this has been a peaceful protest. You got, you know, something happened here further up north on. Right, up further north on 4th Avenue. People try to run up 4th Avenue. And what you see here is protest organizers came over there and started self-policing the crowd. basically like, look, man, you can't be running over there. Now, one thing I want to report back on is we see a return now of the guard. So as we mentioned earlier, the National Guard is out here. We reported when they first got off the buses at the downtown precinct, the guard is out here with gas masks, which has to be uncomfortable. What's up? Man, I'm still here telling your good story, man. What's up? Everything okay down here?
Well, there's some youngins. There's a young man over here who is, I don't know what he's upset at. You see the young guy in the white?
In the white. Yeah, yeah. He's one of these organizers.
Does the police care about this? I'm not, like, no disrespect or anything, like, just like I'm moving out the south. Well, I know you guys are defending the story. You know, most officers are absolutely lying. I can't speak for anybody else. But what I saw, I don't know, it was wrong. But when we're dressed in uniform, we don't go about really expressing our personal opinions because the idea is that we're representing the department. So we got a little rear slice there. I told you my own opinion. But for the most part, when we're dressed, did it make sense? So, what's that? I lost my voice yesterday.
He's been out here on it, man.
Absolutely everything I could to talk to people, but there's only so much before you. I'm sorry. Anyway, well, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Have a nice day. All right.
So what you were saying though is it's okay outside of this. I mean, are you guys getting any pockets of any incidents down there?
We're hearing reports of, like, for example, just a couple minutes ago, there was a report of somebody with a Molotov cocktail coming this way.
Okay.
And so we rushed over there because, I mean, you want to talk about something dangerous. That's dangerous.
Right.
But, so.
Otherwise, so far, so good, huh?
So far, so good. I mean, what worries me is, like, the young man.
Right. Because it only takes one, and everybody's on edge, right?
If he stays over there, he can.
And do you see these guys are self-policing though? They're doing their part here. And actually, if people don't know, this is actually probably the safest place in Seattle right now. Between the National Guard, the SPD, and everybody else, it's a safe zone, man. Thanks for the time, Sarge. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's almost eerie right now because of how quiet it is. But like I said, if we pan the camera around here, this is Macy's right here, the old Macy's. You know, we've got officers here. We've got the National Guard over there. We saw some sheriff deputies here earlier. We've got, all the intersections. Sorry about that. All the intersections downtown are blocked off. As you can see, every direction that I point, the streets are blocked off. So, I mean, depending on how you look at it, this is a very safe and secure zone. Another way to look at it is, the protesters ain't going nowhere. The police are literally on every corner. And another way to look at it is that, the leaders of this protest and the Seattle police were able to build a social contract and, and kind of trust each other, and that, they would allow the protesters back down into Westlake, assuming that this group right here, that's like literally been marching for 5 hours, is peaceful. And you guys have watched this evolve right along with me. And for the most part, that's what we've seen. And what we've seen is a lot of different opinions too. I mean, it's a lot of different opinions on things and policy and how fast or slow things should move and methodology. But one thing, or a few things here that I could say is that, one, people are just fed up and whatever, I mean, you had COVID going on and some of everything else, and people at this point are just, they just don't want to do this. The second thing is we've all seen this last week was crazy, for Black Americans, for all Americans. Now, this is a guy that said, yeah, no, this guy, got to stop this. So you see, this is what they were saying about how the white privilege.
Don't film them. Don't film them.
Don't film them. Yeah, he might be the guy fucking it up. Yeah, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Get his ass out of here. You know what I'm saying? I see you guys out here policing it, man. You're doing your best to keep this thing peaceful, huh?
I want peace. Like I said, I'm going to keep fighting for it. I will stay out here as long as I can. I'm going to keep fighting for it until I can't stand. We got here this far because of peace. I'm not letting anyone ruin it.
Right, I understand. They're playing taps over there. Whew. Now people in the military, they hear taps, it's time to go home. But I don't think we're going home no time soon. So the National Guard has returned back to the corner on 5th and Pine. Right here. So you heard the sergeant say that for the most part, I mean, they're getting calls for small things here or there, but they're saying so far today that they haven't heard a lot of violence. But we see the National Guard's on the move. The National Guard is now on the move. See, the guard is on the move. And it looks like they're reinforcing this line over here. It very well might be that this is a new unit. This might be a new unit that's coming over here. But now they're reinforcing the SPD.
This is why you don't let the cops.
We are not here for that turn.
If you are white, you should be over there listening.
So we see that the guard has come and reinforced this line right here. And so the thing is why we mention these kind of things is when it's a change in posture. Whenever there's a change in posture by the law enforcement, like we set up there on the East Precinct when the officers in with the bikes were replaced by the officers with the gas masks. So, you know, we see now that there's a line of National Guardsmen, and now we see the Guardsmen are peeling off and they're moving further down. I don't know, you know, Army got tactics, man. Whatever they got going on. But basically, it's a second layer there. We also see some guardsmen that are going back over there towards Westlake. Yeah, I mean, the big thing, Teach, is like, even with that, how does this end? Like, that's my question. I think that this is great that, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, be able to peacefully protest and everything else. But it's like, okay, at what time is it like, okay, go home? And another thing that's difficult is public transit has been interrupted downtown. So, I mean, even Ubers, you can't even get that downtown is blocked off right now. So, I mean, that's something that for people to consider is how people are even going to get home after coming downtown. All streets coming into downtown, at least this area, are closed. The Link Light Rail is closed. There's no bus traffic on 3rd. Of course, there's no bus traffic on 4th. So, I mean, just thinking ahead, which, you know, clearly is something that we want to all be able to do, is now, you know, how do you get these people out of here? Ain't that one like Vermont or something? Don't tread on me.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I said it before, but I'm just reminding you of what they're asking. Hold on, I'm reminding you that that's illegal for them. And I know it's not. I work the job. I think it's police.
Thank you, Kev. No, I'm listening.
For the stuff that these cops do every single day. Rules of engagement for the people in the port, none of you guys have. I try, exactly. It takes 6 months to train. Good point, this gentleman made later. It takes 6 years. I'm studying to be in the team. 6 years to know the law. Hey, sir, you ought to engage in dialogue with me and stuff, right? They would like to make you not believe them. You don't, but you do. No, I want them to know. Every time I come down home, I just don't want them to break the laws of war. Well, I try to talk to the issue. That's how I lost my voice, brother. They don't listen.
What message are you trying to convey here to the National Guardsmen?
I'm trying to convey that CS gas has been banned by the Geneva Convention.
Is that the gas they put out here yesterday?
Yeah, the CS gas, that's tear gas.
And we got gas so many times covering this story.
I'm not saying they're doing it. I'm saying if they witness these police use it tonight, their duty is to turn around and protect the civilians.
But hold on, take one step back. You're saying that a gas was deployed on us yesterday that's against the Geneva Convention, if I hear you correctly.
Yes, sir. That is exactly right. Now, they say you're allowed to use it for civilian use, but that it has been banned by the Geneva Convention. The rules of engagement don't allow it anymore. You know what I mean? We don't deploy it against terrorists. If we do, those people are convicted against Congress. You know what I mean? Like serving time in the regular. Any kind of chemical or irritant agent, you know what I mean? If deployed in a small room, could kill people. It is asphyxiant.
Yeah.
That's what happened in Waco. Guys, remember that? Where, you know, over 80 kids died. They died from the tear gas, bro. You know what I mean?
I know yesterday. Yeah, yesterday when I got split between me and my son, and he came and grabbed me, and grabbing me, the gas canister came right in between us, and by the time we got over there, and I'd been getting hit with gas all day, but it was just, you know, the fumes of, but when the canister hit right there with me and my son, I couldn't breathe. 100%. It was like, I mean, we made it through it, but yeah, it's like,
you guys should have to be handing out gas masks. What about the people that have COPD, asthma, and stuff like that, brother? Yeah. Well, I've taken up a few times. I just wish you guys would engage in a dialogue with me. It's kind of unfortunate. A few years back when I was here, I most definitely would have been standing there talking to a person in my position. You know what I mean? Because that's your job. That's your duty. I'll say it again, foreign and domestic. This is domestic. Okay? If they use any gas, you know who they attack.
Man, for the last 3 days actually, but for today, 5 hours. So I was covering these actual protesters that are right here. This protest started here, went up, all around, everything else. Oh, no, I was here. Yeah, I was streaming, actually, when these guys got off their bus, too, over at the downtown precinct. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and the guardsmen, it looks definitely very intimidating right now. Luckily, I saw the guardsmen when they got off the bus first going into the precinct, you know what I'm saying, with smiling faces. But they got on the gas mask right now and the leg gear and everything else. And I mean, hopefully that, you know, the National Guard will end their night right here in the same position and posture if we're lucky, because, you know, nobody wants to really come somewhere and have to get into it. There's quite a few people I know, they were like, man, my guy's coming down. He's in the Guard. He told me he's going to be there. So, I mean, some of these guardsmen that are here, very well, some of their friends, colleagues, and even family members might very well be across the street. So I think that we could probably all agree that the last thing that we want to see is a conflict in which the National Guard actually has to be engaged here. We did see some action that was to the north of us. I guess it's calmed down over there. We're going to go back across the street. Yeah, you're right, T. It's a short walk. Man, I'm telling you, these dogs is barking, man. I don't know. I won't be walking tomorrow. I got to get me some new walking shoes if this is going to persist, man, because I'm definitely feeling it. I think that the next thing that we're going to really look at here is darkness. And the sun has set, or is setting right now actually, 8:48. The sun is setting and darkness is coming onto the city. And again, you know, thinking ahead, how do these people get home? Even if they want to comply, with the curfew, how are people planning on getting home? There's no, the link light rail is closed. The buses are closed. And I'm not saying this is anybody's fault. I'm just pointing out that logistically, because, I mean, problems arise when, you know, people are just sitting around and everything else, or people want to get home. If you can't order an Uber into downtown Seattle today, you know, Uber or Lyft or anything else. But I'm sure where there's a will, there's a way, you know what I'm saying, to be able to get people home. But, I mean, as darkness approaches, that's the thing. Oh, snap. There's another protest group that's coming in over here. So, got a change of events here. So, why this is interesting right here is the group I've been with for 5 hours covering, and they've been nonviolent, all of them, for 5 hours. Now, we're now mixing another protest, which I'm assuming, because the police are letting them in, has also been nonviolent. But we've got a second group of protesters now who've made it to Westlake. Okay, and they're saying so there's a peaceful protest.
Yo, y'all need to hear us out. Y'all need to hear us out, man. We want justice. We want all those cops that's ever killed a black man to do time. We want justice. This is not fair. This is not fucking fair. This system has to be changed. It has to. You're laughing. You think this shit a joke. A black man dies, this shit is a joke. That's why we're gonna be out here every fucking day, causing hell until you guys get it right. Every day, 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 every day. On top of that, 493 black men has died in the arms of the police, and Michael Vick has done more time than them. What kind of world are we living in? Fucking dogs! You kill a black man, you can live. The system has to change. We have to overthrow the government.
No more just following orders.
Hashtag anonymous. Hashtag
South
anonymous.
Center? South Center?
Hashtag anonymous.
South Center.
You get all the information you want.
I'll be honest with you.
This system is filthy.
Again.
The system needs to go.
They are the game.
Right.
They are the leaders.
Let me step away here and address that real quick. If South Center is being looted right now, I think that, again, the city of Seattle, I mean, it's pulled in a lot of resources. I'm not saying it's Seattle's fault, but like I said, we saw the Bellevue police was down here earlier, and Bellevue, you know what I'm saying, got looted. And they're saying South Center, I don't know how big of a force Tukwila has to begin with, but there's a lot of King County sheriffs out here as well. I mean, that's a very big building and space out there at South Center. It'd be interesting to see, you know, how that goes down. But the other thing, the other thing that we talked about is that the people who come to break stuff, they don't want conflict with the police. And so they just want to destroy stuff. And so, again, these are all soft targets because downtown Seattle is the hard target. You know, and so it leaves cities like Bellevue, it leaves Tukwila, all those kind of things open. Again, the real deal anarchists just want to destroy. And then if they can yell at the police, they like to do that too. But they just want to destroy stuff. And that's what we see. So now we see some self-policing over here by protesters.
You got days with them. They don't exist. They do not exist.
So we're coming back over here because, you know, again, you got a group of protesters, protest organizers who push, we've seen them continuously push people back. They continually push people back who want to engage here with the police. And so I've seen them do this now for quite a bit throughout this protest and covering it. But we see quite a few people here where the emotions and the passion is running high. You know what I'm saying? The passion is running high, you know? And so we've got somebody right here where also his message is clear. His message is clear. Hey, bro, what is it? What is it? Hold on, back up. What is it that you want to say? What is it that you want to say, bro? What is it?
I won. Why is he shaking up with the left hand?
What is it that you want to say?
I was going to say, on the south end, on Cloverdale, on Dale Block, me, Joseph for sure. Me motherfuckers over here shoot this nigga in the back of his head when he's towering his head. We want respect. Nigga, we want justice, nigga. Nigga, fuck all that shit.
All right. I got you. So, again now, we're seeing event organizers have now created another barricade, and this is an interesting turn of events tonight because, like you said, the protesters have created a barricade, protected the police. I know how to talk to my audience. I understand what you're doing. I understand. Listen, your argument's not with me. I've been covering you guys for about 5 hours. I'm just being funny with you, okay? So, you know, I don't know. It depends where you work. It might be something you could do better. If you're really asking me the question, are you a loan officer? Oh, okay. Well, I'm saying there is shit people can, but there might not be nothing you can do. You know, your presence is welcome. And I'm saying it's a good thing. I'm giving the organizers, yeah, I know. People know who's seeing this, but that is still what's occurring in policing this line here against people who want to maybe push towards the police. Is this on the move? Woo. Yeah, I agree. This is the Guard. Ain't nobody trying to play with the National Guard, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, here comes more You know, it's going to be an interesting night, y'all. It's hundreds. Like, I don't know what's going on. This is a City Hall thing. But you got hundreds. Yeah, Tuck Willis getting ran. But the thing is all the police resources got pulled into Seattle. And I've been covering this story for the last 3 days since Friday, and you know what they told me? They were like, "Look, man, we don't want to fight with the police. We just want to tear stuff up. So as soon as the police come in, we're gonna go to other targets." And that's exactly what's happened here. You think so? You know what? I've been covering, but what is crazy is the police have allowed all these people back into the city. You know? No, they definitely don't have enough people, and they can't enforce the curfew. There's no way to enforce it. No. It's true.
You can't shut down 99. You can't shut down.
This is, what we're seeing right here. This is a very, I don't know. This street's been going for about 4.5 hours, and I'm gonna tell you, it keeps getting more and more incredible here in the last 30 minutes. As the group of protesters I was with made their way back to Westlake. It was the first group. Then we saw another group come in, and now it looks like hundreds of protesters, a few hundred, maybe 200, are also joining in again now. So now Westlake, Man, I'm with Converge, and so here in Seattle, so it's Converge, Africa Town. You're at Africa Town?
I'm not familiar with that.
Where are you from?
I was born in Germany.
Okay. Well, where are you from now?
I'm in transition.
You're in transition? Okay.
I'm
Ain't nothing wrong with that. But let me ask you a better question. Where are you in what city are you in transition in? Are you here in Seattle?
No.
Okay.
You're stationed from here?
Yeah.
You guys are online or what?
Right here, yeah, online. It's
TV.
It's so what we are is it's across a bunch of different touch points in digital. So there's streaming, there's also social, everything else.
So you
okay,
just
the lights
this
are
whole
on.
thing? Your battery
It's
lasts
5
for
hours. I got 5 hours on the stream. Yeah.
You're about to cut in and cut out.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Now, as somebody who was watching the whole thing, do you think that there are paid people who are facilitating in this?
Paid people?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. There's a co-intel everywhere.
Oh, okay, so you believe that on our side, that there were people standing in the front that were paid?
Man, I'm saying every movement's been infiltrated, man. You'd be a fool to sit here and think that, like, oh, no movement, everything is, man, are you serious? Man, listen, this is why I'm in journalism and I don't have an agenda. You know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter, great. I'm not with Black Lives Matter. I'm not with anybody. I ain't got no agenda. And so I can sit here and just, say what it is I want to say. And man, all of these things get infiltrated either directly or they get infiltrated by somebody like George Soros, who's like giving billions for what he wants to see happen. Right. So on the street level, on the boardroom level, there's always infiltration of every movement. It's co-intel, man. So, that's why I'm not listening to anybody's message. I'm just reporting on what I see.
Okay, so just for as someone who was sitting in the front, I can tell you, every one of those people say they're not affiliated, but that Black Lives Matter movement has been propagated throughout this whole thing, but not one of these people are affiliated, and the condition of that tagline is going to be everything in the newspaper and all the tabloids and everything.
And really, when the protests earlier, they said that this wasn't BLM.
It's not.
And you know what I'm saying? And then really that's what we reported earlier, was that it was a spontaneous protest.
If you watch everyone's live feed, this is going to be looking like a Black Lives Matter movement. And all of the written text about this is going to be a Black Lives Matter movement, and everything facilitated is now organized.
Okay, so let me ask you this though. Why does that bother you?
It bothers me because, one, that's already flagged as a terrorist organization. Two, the condition of these people are not Black Lives Matter, and the circumstances that tagline becoming a group organization links us with an organization that's not even facilitating it.
So are you saying that basically the woman who's up there saying that she's from Black Lives Matter and everything else, with the audience here being 95% white, that you're like, man, her message isn't aligning with things? I mean, clearly we heard you. You said it's a terrorist organization, so we don't have to go back. That's what you're saying. Yeah. I'm not endorsing that, but that's what you're saying. But what you're saying, though, is you said her message doesn't match up with the audience here or the protesters.
Very much, I don't think that it does. And not that it's not a positive message, but the conditions of how it's propagated makes it seem, even just from a viewer standpoint, that who she's speaking to is a Black Lives Matter audience.
I see.
And
so what you're saying, if someone was only to see footage of her, they would think that she's talking to maybe now about 800 or 700 black people. Yes. But what you're saying is that what's really going on, and we'll give the audience, let me pan the audience here real quick and so everybody to see it, is that there is definitely all kinds of folks, but this is definitely the majority of this crowd here is white people. You know what I'm saying? And
white people. Almost every modern.
Well, I mean, so the thing is here. So it comes down to this then. Is the issue, okay, Black Lives Matter is having a protest and everybody is white who's a protesting, or is the thing is that the protest happened and people heard the voice of, whatever the message is?
Well,
I mean, it sounds like kind of like you might be hating a bit. I'm just trying to save you from that perspective.
To be honest, I am placing a little bit of a bias because the conditions of aligning with an organization which gives and paints a picture of a narrative for the people when we need unity is a negative thing. So by associating these people who are not a part of that group for a blanket statement group, is negative. Right. Especially if they already have negative connotations.
All right. Well, I mean, like I've been reporting all day that there was a difference in ideologies between the different leaders up there, and you know what I'm saying, and we see it. Good luck, brother. So I've never experienced this before, but I guess I've been on this stream